Wah, 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 wah. It has transitioned. We have won. Can they hear you? Yes, they can hear you.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if the volume is good or not, but they can hear you.
I don't know either.
I feel like I need to turn you up a little bit. Looking at the,
It's very possible.
yeah. Wah, 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 wah.
What?
Wah, wah, wah. I don't know. I don't know why, but this is how I've been starting streams since I came back, by just whying.
Wah.
Wah. Hello, it's a lock. Hello,
It's a
lock.
lock. Hello, a lock.
Wah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wah, wah, wah. So I'm. We didn't actually establish which one of us should host the game.
No, we didn't, did we?
No. I don't think it
Um,
really matters as we're both at the same spot on the Warhammer campaigns, and that is have done none of them.
correct. Well, since I'm here, I guess I might as well. How does this work?
Oh, my bad. I have to click into the window
Alright.
before it will control it.
Ooh, Land Raider. Forge Temple, Ring of Iron on Mars. Sounds good. Those are words. Let's see.
Are you hosting it?
I can.
If your computer won't explode from hosting it.
Okay, actually, I kind of want.
You
Okay,
want me?
is the Oh, what is this called? I don't think briefing is the right word for it. The
Tutorial?
pre like I don't know what to call it. I would call it a briefing screen in anything else. Where it's telling you about the job.
Yeah.
Will that pop up if I'm for you if I'm hosting? Do you still have to click on this?
I don't know. Join a
In
player's
that
co-op
case,
game. Friends playing cross-platform. Are you playing on your computer? I don't know. Apparently it has
um,
cross-platform. Didn't know that till right now.
I actually didn't know that either. I am on my computer though.
It says I have no friends playing. So I think probably you have to be actually in it in order for me to see that you're playing it.
Probably. I'm not currently hosting.
Okay. I
But,
will. Let's see. If I start one, will it
the
let you
screen is
join?
good. Ah,
It's a tank. It's a tank.
well,
Alright. I'm trying to host it and seeing if I can drag you in. Let's see if it will work. I know I've gotten multiplayer to work in the past, but it was about 5 billion years ago.
that's a lot of years ago.
Yeah. You may not know this, but I am 5 billion-year-old cat. Alright, how do I invite you to game? Because it
So,
said that I had to host it.
yeah, once jobs started. So,
Job is started. Ah, here we go.
notice.
Allow other players to join. Invite friend.
Ooh.
Hey, look, it's you. Hopefully that worked.
Well, I think I'm joining.
Excellent.
Work on my up and downs, I think. Yeah.
Did it let you join?
I think so.
I heard a noise. Does that mean you
I
are
also
here?
heard a noise.
Oh, hey, you're
I am
here.
here.
We
Hello.
did it. You know, ah! You know who else is here? Lucas is here. Hello, Lucas.
Lucas is here. Hello, Lucas. Hey, Lucas, guess what?
Tank!
Stuff is lagging. Oh no.
It's lagging?
I'm seeing my models lagging, yeah.
Oh.
That's probably not great.
It might be something on my end. Hang on.
No, I think it's on my end.
Oh.
Let me rephrase that. It's definitely on my end because it's my VTube studio that's lagging.
Oh. Well, I know sometimes the Discord windows can be a little funny if they're minimized, so I thought maybe it was my fault.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on my end. The game's running okay though. That's nice.
Is the audio okay? I feel like the audio might be loud. The game had no sound until suddenly it had a lot of sound.
Yeah, actually, it is a little loud. Let's see.
Model running at a whole 2
second sure is. Oh yeah, that's right. Though, Lucas, guess what? Guess what, Lucas?
Oh yeah, you did say that.
I ever stand.
Alright.
Voices are a bit quiet, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it our voices that are quiet, or is it that the game itself is loud? That is the question.
Down my master volume too. Okay, now I should be able to hear you. Also, oh boy, look at this. Look how gross this is. This
is the grossest tank in the world. Hopefully that's a little bit better.
Like? This looks like Nurgle rot. I'm not the first person to say this. Look how big this is. Oh, I wonder if these are properly to scale. I really hope these are properly to scale.
That would be
wow,
great.
That really puts it into a perspective just how big these things actually are.
How are we supposed to get to the top? Oh, you found a way.
The treads. Look how huge this is. Oh, do you know what these are on the side here? What happened? Why am I...
Oh.
These here are guns.
Gun.
I think these are las guns. I have a hard time telling some of them apart, but I'm pretty sure these here are las guns on the side. These guys can typically take a couple things. They can take las guns or... Well, okay, so I don't know about this one specifically, but typically the side guns, they have las guns, heavy bolters, meltas, all sorts of fun stuff.
Ooh, they get very shiny.
Yeah.
I think gun is a good place to start. Guns are important.
Guns are important.
Look how shiny they get.
Use the machine spirits. We must cleanse the surface.
We must cleanse.
Cleanse it from the rot of...
Oh, Lucas says we're still quiet. Alright, if we're still quiet...
Oh, okay.
Then... Hello, mouse, where did you go? There you are. Then this is a OBS problem.
Look at that nice highlighting there on the edges. Somebody really must have taken a good heaping of dry brush on the sides of this particular model.
I mean, probably. Okay.
One of my favorite techniques, by the way, dry brushing.
Let me see if I can do. My volume is up about as loud as it can get, so I just might need to move closer to my microphone.
Mayhaps.
But I was able to turn your volume up.
Oh, that's good. I should probably see if I can't. I'm actually not sure how to fix my frame rate on model. I wonder if I can. About chat.
Whee!
And then if I close this with chat popped out, does chat still work?
I hope so. Do you need me to
Well, my
scream
frame
in the
rate is
chat
still
for
dead,
you?
so it clearly didn't help anyway.
Oh.
Okay, hold up. Can someone say something in chat so I can see if it moves or not?
You got it. I'll scream in chat for you.
Cool, awesome.
I screamed in chat.
Yeah, I don't think chat's moving. Oh no, there it goes. Okay, cool. It was just a little bit delayed.
Sweet.
Okay, I might have to turn down some settings. See, this is why I'm not the one streaming, because now I can go into my graphics settings and I can lower that. And I have to click anywhere.
I understand now why you only stream from your PlayStation.
Yeah, I got basically enough to get OBS running, and that's about it half the time.
Sad, but understandable. There's a lot of intricate details in this gun to clean. My goodness. What is this? Which game is this tank from?
Which game? This is from Warhammer.
Well, I know. I just wasn't sure if it was from a specific one or if it's a generic tank that's in all of them.
So this, which one is this? Give me a second. There's a couple of different ones. Where's the job info? Job details.
No, sorry. I thought this was the tank from Helldivers. I don't even know if there is a tank in Helldivers. I've never played Helldivers.
Not yet. There should be eventually, I would assume so. I think they call it, I think it was a Land Raider, I believe, if I remember correctly. But, so, most, if not all, of the vehicles come from the tabletop, ultimately. There's probably a handful of things that we see in some of the games that don't show up on the tabletop, maybe. For the most part, the answer is typically going to be, oh yeah, so it's a model they made once in the 90s and then never updated, or potentially did update, and yeah.
Gotcha. So we're not going to see any from your Dorkamorka in here?
No, because those are orcs, and we are the good old Skitari. Or the tech priests. We're the cog boys. The cog boys being the guys on Mars. So the tech priest home world is on Mars. But they are a religious cult that believes in... Well, among many things, they worship machines. They believe that machines have... Well, they don't just believe. Machines have a machine spirit within them. All machines do.
This makes sense.
Yes. And in order to maintain machinery and work on it, you must appease the machine spirit, lest
Maybe
it
that's
go...
your problem. You have to appease the machine spirit in your computer, and then your model will run better.
Mayhaps. I must burn some incense and begin incantations. Machine spirit in this vehicle can't possibly be happy with all this rot and taint that is upon it.
I've learned that the machine spirit in my computer will not be happy if I try to make it do things within the first 5 minutes after turning it on.
Interesting.
Because every time I turn my computer on, it decides it has to do a virus scan before it can do anything. And if I try to launch something while it's doing said virus scan, it will just absolutely shit itself. But if I wait until it's done with the virus scan, suddenly fastest PC in the world. I don't quite understand it. It's wild. Like, virus scan happening, it's gonna crash trying to load Discord. Virus scan not happening, I can be running 3 programs at once and also streaming them and also hosting a game, no problem.
Nice.
Makes no sense. Computer why?
So,
There's a...
funniest thing, I turned my graphics presets down to low, and you know what the biggest difference is?
What?
It got darker for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
This is so funny. So the vehicle is still like rendered to the same quality too. It's just all of our surroundings tanked. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, my guess is that the lighting in this room is actually coming from the light fixtures in the background.
Very
They
possible.
probably programmed it as actual lighting effects rather than just a blanket world brightness, which is
Look at
kind of
these.
silly.
Look at these stained glass windows over here. Oh boy,
Right?
look at that. Is that
They're so
Mars
pretty.
out there?
Wait, can you actually see it? Where are you?
I'm over here. Oh, I'm down this flat. Hold on. I'm over here.
Oh.
Look at this. I'm getting distracted by the terrain.
They didn't
Also,
need to build all this, but yet they did.
Correct.
And this would be why it's tanking your computer, because it's not just rendering this, it's rendering all of Mars out there.
It's very possibly. Ooh, look at that. There's a plasma coil over here.
I wonder if I can blow out the candles.
Something.
Man, the water doesn't even blow out the candles. Lame.
Oh boy, that might be a terrible thing. Those candles are probably there for the sake of the machine spirit.
Oh,
We're
so
in worship of the Omnisaya.
I probably shouldn't blow out the machine spirit candles.
No, probably not. Or again, potentially for the sake of the praise of the Omnisaya, who must be worshipped as is due.
There's so much green gunk on this tank.
It probably came out of a conflict with the Death Guard, if I had to guess.
They make green gunk.
They are, if I forgot my names correctly and haven't mixed themselves up with one of the many other things, they are a faction under Nurgle, who is the chaos god of plagues.
So they have plagued the tank.
They are plague marines. That would be my guess, just because it's green and goopy, and Nurgle likes green and goopy.
It says, no residue from the redacted profane. Oh, now the message is gone. That's rude.
Ooh, we got the last cannon cleaned. I was right, it is a last cannon.
Yeah. Clean cannon. Oh man, this tank has a dirty butt. I know there's a way to change the actual nozzles, but I don't remember. Ah, it's the bumper.
It's two.
Oh right, you're playing a keyboard, I forgot.
I am.
Ooh, the spinny one. I like the spinny one.
I should consider picking this up on console instead, huh?
Yeah, we have to look into how the crossplay works.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was until today. But it got picked up by Square Enix for publishing it, so it makes sense that suddenly there's crossplay.
What do you mean it got picked up by Square Enix?
I swear that's what it said on the Steam page when I was looking today at the DLC.
I cannot believe. That is ridiculous. Oh wait, I forgot to give my obligatory now that there's an audience.
Oh yeah.
Man, I cannot believe that Games Workshop will do anything except publish Battlefleet Gothic again.
Even put their stuff in Powerwash.
Even put their stuff in Power... Which, by the way, I am mildly disappointed in it being in Powerwash Simulator instead of Viscera Cleanup Detail.
You know...
Because let me tell you about how these treads are way too not covered in the gore and viscera of our enemies.
You know... You're not wrong. Viscera Cleanup has been around forever. Why did they not do that?
Because this one got more traction.
Yeah, it's true.
It's all about appeasing to those young kids that shouldn't be playing the game anyway. Because, oh boy, you want to talk about Slanesh? We don't want to talk about Slanesh.
Yeah,
My favorite
but, like,
thing is when... Yep.
I feel like Visor Cleaner was big when it came out back in the day, before they were trying to appeal to the young kids.
I feel like it was a little bit more niche. I don't know how much more niche, to be fair, but I don't know. This has gotten weirdly viral.
That's fair. I guess I have a warped perspective on things because I didn't use Twitter until I became a VTuber, so my knowledge of games came from my friends. So any games that my friends played, I went, oh, this must be a big game now. Which is how I got very disappointed to learn that Guns of Icarus was not actually big and died very quickly, and then I was sad.
Yeah. I still need to play that.
Me too.
That one I do also have on consoles, so I can get like streaming stuff working alongside it.
Yay! Does it have
So
crossplay?
Yes, it has full
Excellent.
crossplay. Ooh, nice.
I wasn't actually sure, because I think back in the day, I used to play Guns of Icarus on my laptop. I think that's when I played before I even got my PC.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm amazed at the games that I managed to get that laptop to play, because it should not have been able to play half of the ones I played on it. When I played, I'm trying to remember the name of them, because I haven't played it in forever, but I played, what is it? Suddenly my brain has forgotten every name of everything in the game I was about to just talk about. Starfield? Is that the one that's like, Command and Conquer, but space? That's...
Battlefleet Gothic?
No, no. There's a Blizzard game that's...
Oh,
Starcraft.
yeah, Starcraft.
Starcraft. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Yeah, so Starcraft.
Sooner.
The guys that have like the red armor with like the big red armor.
Space Marines?
Sure, Space Marine. I don't think it's Space Marines, but maybe it's Space Marine.
I'm actually not sure because I don't think the Space Marines were red. I think they were blue.
Yeah, whoever had the big red armor in StarCraft, I used to play as them, but on my laptop the graphics were so bad that their shoulder pads looked like meatballs. It looked like they were just wearing meatballs.
Nice.
And so I just called them the meatballs.
Actually, you know what? I think there was a story behind StarCraft and why StarCraft is so similar to Warhammer. Well, of course, it's similar to Warhammer. If you look at it, it's a lot like 40K. They even have Space Marines with big old bulky shoulder pads. I think I heard somewhere that it was originally supposed to be a 40K game. And then the licensing didn't pan out, so they just made it legally distinct. That might not be true, because I forget where I heard that.
No, that makes sense, and that could be why the Space Marines wore red instead of blue. Or meatball colored.
Perhaps. What was I... Oh yeah, what was really funny is I don't think anything ever came of this, but Games Workshop apparently had been planning, at least, to release a series of, like, children's content within 40K.
First of all, how? Second of all, why?
Well, that is... The how is what everybody asked. Specifically, one of my favorite things I heard was them asked, how are you going to handle Slanesh then? And their answer was very carefully. It never ended up happening, which is good. And the why is because they're desperately trying to grow their brand to people who don't care. Like everyone is. And that's why you see Space Marine Adventures at Target.
We sure do. Plot
I
twist,
still was
it
in.
doesn't sell.
No, it doesn't, because it's trying to appeal to people who don't play 40K. 40K is a niche within a niche, let's be honest.
Yeah. You know what has done a very good job of getting new fans and catering to a new audience lately, though? I bet you can guess what I'm gonna say. The only thing I've been talking about for the past 5 days.
Wrestling?
Yeah.
Wrestling. So, yeah, wrestling's a thing.
It is a thing.
I have to admit, I have had my opinions, how do I put it? I have a friend who's really big into wrestling, and I'm not really big into wrestling, but he was talking about it at one point and made me go, you know what? There is some cool stuff there.
Yes. I personally think people who were not super into it before should give it a shot now, because the new guy running stuff, I think it's going to be quite different and evolve to a quite different place from here.
Very possibly. So, I like... How do I put this? Yeah, I think I have to put it how it is. I like watching real fights if I'm gonna watch fights.
This is fair.
But I think the storytelling is really cool, so I like to listen to the storytelling after the fact.
Yeah, that's
Like
kind
lore
of how
videos. Yeah.
That's how I got real into it, was from the storytelling.
Yeah, so and that's kind of what my friend who's into it was talking about it. He's like, it's not real fighting exactly. However, it is a unique storytelling medium. And I'm like, you know what? That's interesting, and that's fair.
The way I kind of look at it is, in a way, it's kind of like JoJo, but with real people instead of anime.
I hate that makes sense, and also explains why my friend is so into it, because he's also into JoJo.
It's a bunch of buff people slapping each other and doing flips and crazy shit that's not really possible in real life, but the reasoning is because of the drama, TM.
Because of the drama. I was also looking into, specifically, I found some lore videos on, its heels are like the villains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some lore videos on heels within wrestling, and I'm like, that's really cool. I think I really like that.
Yes. Some of them are very good. The most recent run of the big heel faction of the Bloodline has been one of the craziest runs of a heel faction I've ever seen in my life.
Incredible.
And it's part of why I got back into it again, because I used to watch very actively back in like 2014-ish was when I first got into it. And then I kind of stopped for a while. But the group that I was into in 2014 was kind of technically considered good guys. They were good guys, and one of the guys from that is the leader of now the biggest, most successful heel faction that has held titles for 3 years. And I'm like, how did you get him from Mr. Good Boy who protects everyone else to this? And honestly, he's so much better at this. They should have had him being a bad guy from the beginning.
Incredible. Oh, Lucas says they should sell the rights for video games and stuff. Talking about 40K, right? So that's the neat part. They do. There are so many different 40K games, from the Total War games to the... wait, hold up. Is Total War one of them?
I was going through the list of them the last time we talked about Warhammer on stream, trying to figure out which one was the one of the thousands that I've played.
Nice. We've got Space Marine 2 coming out as well, which, man, I hope is good. So I have got a personal bias against Space Marine 2 going out. The 40k one sucks though. For which one? Because there are some really good ones. The Total War one, right? I don't remember. I didn't play that one. I like the Dawn of War games that are very, very old and were done by Sega, I believe. Those are cool games.
I agree. Those are, in my opinion, the coolest Warhammer video games.
Yeah. Now the Warhammer, it's Total War Warhammer is pretty cool. I don't remember what they have in regards to 40k, but the Warhammer Fantasy one is pretty cool. Also, there is a Battlefleet Gothic game out. Oh, right, and my personal bias against Space Marine 2. They turned Captain Titus into a Primaris Marine, and I despise the Primaris Marines. I think they're heresy. I don't think they should exist. I don't like their armor. I don't like their models. I don't like their points. I don't like their stats.
You really don't like them, huh?
I really don't like them. I think they're broken in terms of the tabletop. Like, sure, you have a squad of 5, but when your squad of 5 have 2 wounds and better gear than everybody else, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
So I don't like Primaris. And again, they're heresy. They shouldn't exist. Their existence doesn't make sense. A Skitarii priest decided he was going to experiment with a gene seed? The Skitarii hate flesh. That's their whole thing. Why oh, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. And on top of that, that's heresy, because guess who made the Space Marines? The Emperor himself. They are one of the Emperor's perfect designs. What right does a Skitarii have to mess with the Emperor's will?
This is Arashi gets heated hours 101.
Yeah. It's absolutely terrible. And this was done just to try and get other people into the game, I'm pretty sure, because they added this weird, like, pseudo-tactical look to them when they did it that stands in contrast with the, like, medieval gothic sci-fi look of the entire rest of the franchise. It's too clean now. 40k got too clean.
40k got too clean, you say, as we're cleaning their tank.
Right, this is different. It needs cleaning. It wishes to be cleansed. This is so that it can go back out and perform its duty for the Emperor more efficiently. Which is kill things in bloody, gory messes. Yeah, 40k somehow takes itself nowadays way too seriously, while not being anywhere near as gritty as it used to be. It used to be funnier, and it used to be bloodier.
Men only want 2 things, and that's blood and fun.
Yes. I miss when it actually understood it was supposed to be satirical. Now it takes itself too seriously.
What do you mean it's not serious? I think Dorka Morka is pretty serious, if you ask me.
Dorka Morka is the best. Welcome, Miss Malal, but apparently he won't come back because his design is tied up in some weird licensing nonsense with the artist who originally drew him. So that's...
Yay! We love to see licensing nonsense, don't we?
Yeah. Or Games Workshop being stingy about paying out royalties.
That's probably the real reason.
Yeah. LOL's cool, though.
Licensing issues is a thing that happens a lot with wrestling, too, believe it or not. Because so I know most people only know WWE, but there's also like a million other different wrestling companies. AEW is the other big one for America, but then there's New Japan and...
And that was it. And then there's the one with the girls from Japan, which are more popular because they're girls.
Yes, I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. I think it starts with an S. But yeah, so there's a bunch of different ones, and some companies have the person's character and therefore their name and outfit design and whatnot be a property of that person that they can carry with them for company to company. And some people essentially do it like HoloLive, where they're like, I have come up with this character for you to be in my company, so if you leave my company, you can't bring this character with you. WWE is one of those, so it makes it very hard for people to be able to go compete against New Japan currently with the way WWE's licensing works. People from New Japan can come to WWE and compete relatively easily, but the other way around is a lot harder. They have to have it worked specifically into their contract from the beginning that it's something they're going to do, like Shinsuke does. Fun facts TM about the wrestling.
That is fun fact about the wrestling. I'm not sure which of us that comment is directed at, but I'm assuming that's directed at.
I would assume that's at me. I don't know if I remember you from before, Jeremy. I'm gonna be honest, because it's been a million years. I was on hiatus for like 2 years. If you are talking about Kabounce, then yes, that was me. I did play the Kabounce game. Welcome. We are power washing tanks and talking about mostly Warhammer and wrestling today, it seems like.
Yeah.
It was me. Yes, my model is different and 2Dified now, because the program I was using, it tried. At least it didn't stop with its eyes closed.
That's true. Well, it's still moving a little bit.
Yeah. We both have blankies.
We both have blankies because it is late.
It is eepy hours. We seem to always do eepy hour streams.
It's because of work schedules.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this model turned out. I figured that since my 3D program, the file type stopped being supported and the whole program kind of closed, I had to get a new model. So I figured if I was gonna go 2D, the only answer was to do retro anime 2D so that it would match the aesthetic TM.
I'm also still very weirded out by the fact that that program, like...
Just died? Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't... Basically, from what it sounds like, is it was running off of assets from Koikatsu, the lovely, very appropriate game. And something happened with the licensing for that. So when they shut it down, they were like, yeah, there is, like, all of the licenses are shutting down with it, so you cannot use any assets at all exported from this program. Which was fine.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. That's what I get for being one of the only VTubers in the world that decided to make their own model using that program.
To be fair, it's a legitimately good 3D modeling, like, program.
Right? It worked well while it lasted. I was like, hey, I can make my model and track my model in the same program. This is great.
Yeah.
It was great until it wasn't. Man, there's so many small spots on this. I feel like I'm, like, going over the same spot, like, 50 times.
Yeah. Oh, I hope we get to wash a Bane blade.
A Beyblade?
Bane blade.
Hear me out here, though. Why don't they have a Star Trek DLC. I want to watch the Enterprise.
Oh gosh, that would take forever.
It would be great though.
They'd have to add zero-G mechanics.
And your point?
Oh, it'd be really cool. It'd be a lot. Talking about face rig stuff? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the specific program itself, I think, it was called Vikatsu, and it was essentially a version of Koikatsu, their 3D modeling and tracking and stuff, brought over into a different program for VTubing. Yeah, licensing do be a hellscape.
Licensing's fun. Oh, on the topic of wrestling, before I forget again, did you know that the New Japan Wrestling has a set in Rebirth?
What?
Which is another trading card game.
I did not know that, but now I'm intrigued.
I know this because my friend who's into wrestling, that's the set he uses always.
I see.
And I believe he's very frustrated because the girls got more attention or something. I forget. Because they're also in there. Whatever their girl division was called, I don't remember. But, unsurprisingly, their set in Rebirth did better than the guys.
I mean, most girl sets do better in trading card games than the guy sets. Like,
correct. This is also the game designed as a companion to Weiss.
Yeah, I was saying gestures to Weiss.
Yup. Rebirth, this is the funniest thing to me. Rebirth was designed as a short, sweet, simple card game to be played in between matches at your tournaments for Weiss.
What? Really?
It is a companion to Weiss. It's great. We didn't get it in English, by the way. So you have to import Japanese cards and look up translations.
Speaking of things we didn't get in English, today I started watching the, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation.
Yes.
If I can remember it. The Umamusume, the Pretty Derby, the horse girls.
Oh,
yeah.
I love Umamusume. I need to play Umamusume. Top Gun is best girl. Yeah.
So I started watching the anime today because I found it on Crunchyroll, and then it had a little Cygames logo beforehand, and I was like, "What?"
Correct.
I was like, "The people who made Grand Blue made this?"
Yes.
And then I found out from Doc that you used to be able to play it here, and then they region locked it. And I'm like, "Why would you region lock it?" He was like, they never translated it. He's like, but that's fine. I was willing to use Google Translate to play it, but then they region locked it.
Yeah, just like Ken Cole.
Region locking games frustrates me. It's like, I think if you can speak the language, you should be able to play it wherever you are.
Yeah, it's I don't completely get region locking. I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand the thought process.
I think it's dumb. I want
I
horse
do,
girls.
with one exception, understand it, actually. I believe, if I remember correctly, I might be misremembering which game, but I believe Persona 5, I want to say, is region locked, for the very simple reason of both versions are completely identical, and they didn't want people importing the Japanese version and hurting the sales of the English version as a result. And I understand that.
But if there's a game you literally cannot buy an English version of, let people who speak Japanese and live in America play it in America. Like, come on.
Yeah. Let me see. I think region locking is to avoid laws in other countries. Like, many websites don't exist in the EU because they just don't want to comply with EU cyber laws. Possibly. Oh, I fell.
But horse girls.
But horse girls! I need horse girl. I need Top Gun. There's like a $300 figure of her, and every day I struggle with the temptation of going out and buying it.
I didn't realize that there was a horse girl named Top Gun. I have not seen her in the show yet.
I don't even know if she shows up in the show. Yeah, okay. You know what? Give me a second.
All I know is so far, Special Week pretty cute. Special Week pretty good.
Did you know that they also have a set in Shadowverse Evolve?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I like Special Week. Doc likes Gold Ship a lot.
Gold Ship is great, to be fair.
That's basically what I know so far. I've only watched 2 episodes. It was just what I decided to watch while I was eating dinner today. That's pretty much how my anime watching works. I get at most 2 or 3 episodes while I'm eating dinner. Because I have a job and I stream. Sad. So many things to do. Maybe I can climb this ladder? No? No, can't climb the ladder. Okay, that's fine. I can go up these stairs.
Give me a sec, I'm about to send you things.
I see.
Because you started on this rabbit hole.
I did. Ooh, there we go. I guess I have to actually pull it up so I can see what you send me, huh? There we go, now I'll be able to see. Where is my mouse? There we go. Also, if you ever visit me in person, or if I ever visit you in person, whichever direction that goes, I think it is required that we do a hand cam collab playing the Top Gun board game.
Oh my gosh. Sure. I was gonna say we need to do one so I can teach you Weiss, but I would play the Top Gun board game.
On your channel, you teach me Weiss. On my channel, we play the Top Gun board game.
Okay, let's go. I'll bring all my HoloLive stuff. I have an entire case of set 2 and most of set 1.
So you have all of the Mumes?
I have all of the Mumes. Not only that, but I have a deck that uses the Mume level 1 combo and the Gura level 3 combo, because nobody was going to stop me with the meta that was using a different level 1 with the meta that is Gura. Meta to the point that everybody wants her banned.
Excellent.
Which I don't get, because, like, you know who's worse? Escanor. You know who I'm not scared of? Escanor, because I run Negsol and it completely destroys his entire gimmick. Anyways.
Mume.
I cannot wait for the next set, which is absolutely going to happen, and that's not Cope. I say that because, like, they have a continuous sponsorship deal with HoloLive, so we're going to keep getting cards until that's not a thing anymore. That gives us Advent.
I will die.
We don't have Advent yet. I want doggo combos.
I don't even play Weiss, but if they make an Advent set, I will buy cards for every Advent character just to put in a binder and look at them.
No, you should build a deck out of them because the game is fun. It's one of my favorite card games. It may be brain off card game, but it is fun brain off card game.
There have been times where I have seen Mume cards for sale online and have thought about buying them just because pretty art.
Yes. Is good.
If I ever got into HoloLive, I think I would want them to make me a bird so that I could do the Holotori dance with my Oshis.
Good stuff. If I ever got into HoloLive, I would want to be an alien with sharp teeth and an ahoge.
Is that because you are an alien with sharp teeth and an ahoge?
Yes, that is very important to me. Okay.
My important factors are pink hair, and I just been wanting to hang out with Kara and Mume.
I want to hang out with Mume and they wouldn't let me.
Why not?
It's very simple.
Oh right, they don't really like it when the boys and the girls hang out in Hololive, huh? Well, Kobo gets to hang out with the boys.
Kobo does. Kobo's special. I mean, like, there's nothing actually stopping them. It's just, I don't know if you've noticed, most of the girls just don't. There are a handful of them that do.
To be fair,
Fubuki's one of them.
I feel like a lot of the girls have no interest in the boys. I think Hololive has a lot of lesbians. Not gonna lie.
That is a possibility. That is Top Gun.
They want to ban the B-Bowl tactic because it frumples the swag mole class and as a result completely fucks with the meta. What a beautiful comment. Wait, so does Weiss have horse girls?
Weiss, yes, but also no. And by
What?
that I mean yes, but not in English. Yeah, I want
Why?
them. I want Top Gun. She has a combo, and anyways.
I understand. You have sent me pictures of Top Gun, and now I understand. She cute.
Now you understand. I love her. Oh, she's so cute.
She has orange hair.
Does, and you know what she has in spades? She has I stole daddy's military jacket vibes.
It's true.
And that's cute, but also, I have to say, this is not from experience, by the way. This is genuine, pure speculation. I've got this gut feeling that dating a military brat girl is a terrible idea because she will never love you as much as daddy.
Well...
That's just the vibes I get from all of them.
As somebody who has known their fair share of military families and things, the other thing you have to think about is you don't really think about it, but also even though if you're not in the military, being in a military family comes with its own special form of trauma of getting moved away from your life every year and then not knowing if your parents gonna come home or not.
Yeah.
It can mess a person up.
It can. We think Lucas sad.
Lucas is sad that we're not talking about Top Gun the movie. We did earlier. Well, we talked about Top Gun the board game from the movie. Does that count?
Who, by the way, was apparently used to promote Top Gun Maverick in Japan. And
The board game or Special Week? Or Special Week. The Horse Girl.
The Horse Girl was used to promote the film.
That makes me so happy. I'm sorry, Lucas. I didn't mean to hit you right in the feels. I'm sorry. You play a game called Hail Mary Jump, which is jumping last second to hopefully score better or get a character skill. Dang, that sounds intense. I feel like I would be very bad at that game because what even is focus? I have 0.
Speaking of which, hey, you want to pick up Tekken 8?
What? Is it a brand new Tekken? Is it an expensive one?
Yeah, it's a brand new Tekken, and yeah, it's $70, and yeah, I need to justify having spent $70 in a game I've played like twice now.
Alright, so here's the thing. A, does it have crossplay?
Yes.
It does, okay. B, you're gonna have to pick which one you prioritize first, Tekken or Helldivers, because I can only buy one full price game a paycheck.
This is fair. Tekken, or what was the other one?
Tekken or
Because-
Helldivers.
So here's the kicker. Helldivers is $40.
That is better. Either way, I have to wait till next paycheck because I just bought the new WWE game, which was indeed full price.
This is fair, but that means that you're only buying one full price game.
I see.
And Helldivers.
I see.
And the priority is Helldivers because, like, I'm having a blast with Tekken 8 the, like, 2 times I played it. But, managed democracy must be spread across the galaxy. It is imperative. The bots have come back. We need to crush them. They've taken back Cyberstan. This is unacceptable. Alright.
Oh, hey, there's a light here. It lit up when I revealed it. That's cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't mean to make you completely question your future, Lucas, but also it really depends on what you actually choose to do. Like, if you choose to do a relatively safe military job, then your only factor is the moving a lot. However, if you choose to do combat on the field, then there is that genuine fear from your family of, yes, are you coming back?
Speaking of not coming back, Genesis is right. Hi, Genesis. How are you? He's
Hello.
correct. We need to help spread managed democracy. The bots are back. They're nearing Super Earth. This is unacceptable. We must fight back their tyrannic hordes. Their evil communist hordes. Socialists. Sorry, they call them socialists. I messed up. I messed up the bit. Oh no, the Imperial Aquila is dirty. This is also this is heresy of the highest grade.
You do understand that if I get Helldivers and we play, you're gonna be teaching me literally everything about it because I know exactly nothing.
This is fine. I know more than most people because I actually played the first game. A lot of people somehow don't even know there is a first game, despite the fact that it's called 2. I was in this boat until after 2 came out, and then I played 1. And now I know more than everyone.
How do people just see a game that is called whatever 2 and then go, wow, I didn't know there was a first game. Why would it be called 2 if there wasn't?
See, also, any game that has a subtitle ever that people somehow don't know is a sequel.
Yeah.
Nier Automata.
I bet there was probably people who thought that Borderlands, the pre-sequel, was the first game.
The pre-sequel.
Yeah. Like, obviously this came out first, right? Because it takes place first in the story, right? No. It's not how this works. There's a reason it's called the pre-sequel.
Yeah, it's okay, Lucas. Nobody thinks about it except for me, because I'm insane. Also, Helldivers 1 is genuinely very fun, and I still recommend it despite the fact that 2 exists. Because it's just different. It's a completely different style of game, too. 2 is third-person shooter, while 1 is top-down twin-stick. Both are somehow milsim games.
You're not gonna convince me that Goat Simulator 3 is actually 2. What? No. What?
I'd believe it. It's Goat Simulator.
You know, that's a fair point, actually.
I love that all these little skulls are their own things that need to be cleaned. Do you see this?
No, I'm up here. What's it?
So,
Really?
So like all little skulls and things, when I clean them off, they ding. They're their own objects that need to be cleaned.
It's important to have all of the skulls clean.
Yes. They are marks of the Imperium. It is our holy duty to cleanse them.
There is actually a faction in WWE right now called Imperium.
Oh my gosh.
They're kind of great, actually. I think you'd probably like them. Their whole thing is that they believe that they are the absolute peak specimens of wrestlers and that no one else can beat them because they are peak specimen wrestlers.
Understandable. When the modeler demands to have his work validated 100%, and he is justified. You know, that actually reminds me, before we get back on the wrestling topic, you know, one of the things that made Space Marine 1 so fun is they did such good work at making everything look like walking tabletop minis. The approach to color and art design and whatnot, everything felt so perfectly 40K. Even down to the gore effects. It has the chunkiest gore I've ever seen in a game, and I love it.
You are a big fan of your chunky gore.
Yeah, it's, well, for something like 40K especially, it's a necessity. It's part of the aesthetic. Why it's weird to have it here where they can't put gore on things.
Yeah. Instead it's just green slime.
Green slime. Again, probably Nurgle. That's a thing too.
True. It should be in Viscera Cleaner though, you're right.
At least it's not whatever color slime would come off of a Slanesh horde.
As somebody who plays Powerwash, the draw to Powerwash is it's a
Power
great. It's oddly satisfying to like be able to see the work as you clean it and be able to see it get all shiny. But also from a streamer point of view, it is a great passive game to play when you want to do a just chatting stream but are too ADHD to actually sit there and just chat. It's the real hacks. We're getting close. We've got to be missing something. Let's see. Outer track is only 96% cleaned. My goodness. Exactly. The satisfaction of cleaning without the pain of cleaning. Exactly.
I'm sorry, 3-player campaign co-op for Space Marine 2? That's incredible, and I didn't know that. That's awesome. I'm excited to kill kids. I hope the game's good. I hate that he's a Primaris Marine. I think you missed that part. I don't think you were here for that.
You did have a nice rant about that.
I hate the Primaris. I get that he's a Primaris Marine. They're promoting their new toys that they want to sell you. I hate the Primaris Marines, though, so I don't like it. Also, can we have another Fire Warrior game that doesn't suck? Because the Tower cool. No, you know what? I want a game where we get to play as a Crisis Suit pilot, because Crisis Suits are awesome.
Is that just, like, get in the robot?
Yes. I would say it's Gundam, but they're on a much smaller scale.
Are you going to, if it's 3-player co-op, does that mean you're going to teach me Space Marine 2?
It is very possible. I also really, really hope they bring back the PvP. Updated, but as it was in the first game, because the PvP was genuinely so fun. I have some phenomenal moments of playing as a jump trooper and just coming down on people's heads and ripping them apart with my chainsword before jumping away and blowing them up with a plasma pistol. Oh, it was so much fun. There we go.
Alright. So, man, these are very intricate and very hard to actually get clean, my goodness.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're almost done, and then so many of the areas are not actually done.
You play Nids and want to touch Tau when they get a refresh. Nids are cool. I really like Tyranids. I want some Tyranids just so that I can set them up fighting my guard. I actually play guard because at the time, Sisters of Battle were too expensive for me. And now Sisters of Battle are still too expensive for me, but they have pretty models, so... Saint Celestine got updated, and I also need an Exorcist. There are 3 reasons I love Sisters of Battle. Repentia, because giant two-handed chainsword. Celestine, because she's beautiful. The Exorcist, because it's a tank that shoots from pipe organs.
I want a tank that shoots from pipe organs. That sounds amazing.
Exactly. I love the Sisters of Battle. Also, they're violent space nuns. Also, their lore is genuinely just really cool.
I believe the Sisters of Battle is who I played in whatever video game they were in, which was the one video game I played.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good system to try 40k online? That does not exist, unfortunately, to my knowledge, anyway. Just play Dawn of War.
Locke,
it's not the same thing.
Why do you need an Exorcist, Locke? What happened?
I wouldn't need an Exorcist. It's Locke.
Fair point, actually.
Also, hi, Locke. Yeah, you know what? Genesis is right. You do need to buy a Tau Combat Patrol. I need to buy a Tau Combat Patrol. I like Crisis Suits. I want Farsight. Commander Farsight's model is so cool. Did I rant about Farsight? Farsight's awesome. Farsight has an enclave of Power Rangers, and we don't get them as models. We just have him. Anyways.
It sounds like they're really good at not making models of all of the characters you actually like.
They are. They're also really good at just not making models for forever and then doing so. Do you have any idea how long it took them to bring back squats, and then when they did, they're not even the same thing?
No, but what I do know, thanks to talking to you, is that they will do anything except reprint your favorite game.
They brought back squats before they gave us more Battlefleet Gothic.
They even put it in Powerwash.
Yup. I cannot figure out where the dirt is. Where is the dirt on the outer track armor? I can't find it.
Alright, this is done. This is done.
There's so many little fiddly bits that could be anywhere.
Okay. Alright, so I'm missing something on this front armor. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Yes, Farsight's new model is gorgeous. I love it. I gotta send you Farsight. Hold up, I've gotta go find this now. Give me a second. Let's go back to my Google tab.
You need an exorcist because of a bad sandwich?
What?
I think you need a doctor then, not an exorcist.
Doctor, exorcist, it's probably the same thing. Warhammer 40k. Ooh, Penitent Engine. I forgot, that's another reason I really like the Sisters of Battle, the Penitent Engine, but I like the old model better. Commander. Also, I need Commissar Yarick, because Yarick is awesome. Farsight. I need this model. Okay, save.
Here we go.
I have a mighty need for this model. Farsight is just awesome. Also, Farsight is the only good guy in 40k. Because the Tau, he's the Tau that said, maybe I don't like being part of a race of people that is mind-controlling their people into following their doctrine. So I'm just going to break away, but also not enslave people or be terrible or murder everywhere. I'm just going to form a tiny pocket of space where we're actually good guys, and the only reason they're still alive is because nobody cares.
I mean,
Because
good
if
for
any
him.
faction decided that Farsight was a problem, he'd be dead.
Good for him for doing that,
Okay.
though.
I love Farsight.
Man, there's so much of this that I think is done, and it's not.
Also, he may or may not be being kept alive because of a vampiric sword he's using.
A vampire sword?
Yeah, so when he kills things with it, he sucks their life force into his own.
Holy crap. That's actually a very cool design.
Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love Farsight and the Farsight Enclave. I also really love the Imperium. I love my... Well, okay, more specifically than just the Imperium, it's the only good guys. Yeah, they're the only good guys. The Chaos Demon Sword, it's something. I think it's actually a Catan Blade or something like that. I'd have to look into the lore again, though. I don't believe it's actually Chaos. Regardless, it is possibly evil.
But I thought you said he was trying to be a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's a great guy.
With
the
his
sword,
evil
on the other hand, it is a sword that steals people's life force and adds it to his own, and he may or may not be aware of this. There's the door.
Seems kind of sus.
As is the way with the 40k.
40k sus.
40k is very sus. Also, noise marines are great. We like noise marines. There we go. Oh, finally.
Where is this spot that I'm missing on the top one?
Cannon's clean. How's the track? No, the track is dirty. Oh, this one's gonna be a pain to figure out where the dirt is. I'm gonna have to crawl on the ground.
I swear there's a button we can press that makes stuff glow.
That's tab. I don't know what it is on controller.
It is, and tab is very helpful. My goodness. Tab is love, tab is life.
Yeah, something.
I did it.
Nice.
Alright.
Oh, I finally got the track. Yeah, let's go. Other track is clean. Inner track armor? Okay.
Uh-huh. It's this thingy.
Also, Skitari are cool. Skitari are funny because for one of the most technologically advanced factions, at least in the Imperium, they look weirdly Renaissance.
Interesting.
Very cool, though.
I swear I just did this.
Oh no, it's all in steps. Okay. Alright, I gotta get back up there, huh? On top of the gun, maybe. Yeah,
Very good. This is the one I want. I hope it counts all of the engine grill as the same thing. It must.
Oh no, this last cannon is still filthy. There's so many little hidey holes for dirt to hang out in. Oh my gosh.
Right? Alright, engine grill cleaned.
Oh, both blast cannons have their own stats. Oh, okay, cool, got it. Oh boy.
Alright. There must be something on the other side. Whoop. I do think it's kind of cool getting to like learn the names of all of the parts.
Yeah. Like Sponson. Sponson guns are fun. We like the Sponsons. Oh, there we go. Oh, the armor's still filthy.
Alright, there's so many little nooks and crevices. And here I was like, I wonder how many of these we're going to get through. And it turns out it takes way longer than I thought just to get through one tank.
I know, like, the van I did for the campaign wasn't that bad, but this, oh boy.
This is for elite power washers only.
This is for the Emperor's finest.
There we go.
Why isn't your local Joanne selling an Among Us fabric print?
I kinda hate that. I
I
kinda
kind
hate
of
that.
love that.
Why?
It would go great with my my office fabric print.
How does Amogus go with Office? What?
Because it's cursed, but in different ways. Oh, that's where all the grime is. Oh, cool. Grime be gone. Awesome. The outer track still has grime on it. It's driving me crazy because I can't find it. It makes me angry. Oh, there it is. That explains a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff over here that I'm struggling to get. That's the most.
I don't know, man. A Mugos cloak is a great idea. I like that. Also, I need to make my own cloak. That is a thing I've been meaning to do for a while now and haven't gotten around to.
I don't know how I'm supposed to get this spot.
Which spot? And what are we stuck on?
Apparently the answer is jumping. There's a lot of stuff over here that I'm struggle busting with. Yay, we did it!
Got it. No.
Yeah, the engine armor also still needs some. But how and where?
All in one of these little diddly bits. What tools do I have anyway?
The skin plate needs stuff too? Oh yeah, it sure does.
I don't quite understand all of these different tools I have access to.
What do you mean? Some of them go up, some of them goes down.
What does what though?
Some of the, I think it changes the size of the nozzle and then the pressure of the nozzle.
Oh.
One of these days, I gotta get my sewing machine set back up at my new house. Things I have not set up since I moved, even though I moved in January. My PlayStation, my Xbox, or my sewing machine.
Nice.
You'd think that would be kind of important, but no. I wanted to... What?
My sisters took the sewing machine with them to Kuleg, so I need to buy one.
Oof. That is big sad. Yeah, I wanted to set mine up in a way so that I could do hand cam streams with sewing stuff. And that's why it's not set up yet, is because I can't quite figure out how to make that work. I have the table that I'm setting the sewing machine up on is right next to my desk. The problem I've been struggling with is figuring out how to get a working hand cam. Because my webcam broke during the move. So I've been using my phone for my model tracking. And I don't have access to another webcam, but I do have another phone. So I gotta figure out how I can use the other phone as a hand cam.
Yeah, that, I too use my phone for a hand cam.
You do? How do you get it to work?
With the program.
With what program?
It's so it's a browser application. What was it called? It's video.ninja, I think it is, something like that. So
Okay.
set up a room to attach your phone to, and then capture, like, stream that to your OBS.
I will have to look into that because that might actually solve my problem. can't believe you left the hatch Aquila. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Aquila? Yeah. I think I got distracted. I had been working on that. Oh gosh, the Ultramarines plaque still has grime on it.
That's a war crime.
That is heresy.
Okay. I feel like we've got to be getting close.
We're getting close. I've still got grime on the engine armor. Oh, good. Ultramarines plaque is good to go. Okay. Might pretty much just have that. Oh, wait, no. Where was it? Sorry. Oh, the inner track armor, right. Oh, no.
Yeah, I was struggling with that one earlier. You did
Got
it.
I don't know where it was, but I got it.
The searchlight.
No.
Oh, it's underneath.
Cool. Now, this engine armor is still an issue.
Oh, I see.
I do not.
We did.
Oh, I got it. Nice.
Alright. Headlights and track armor hatches.
Oh. Okay, there's one track armor. Oh, that's... Okay. Now it's just the headlights. Nice!
We did it!
Ooh, let's go!
Woo-hoo.
Among Us pajamas or actual effort? I don't know, man. Among Us pajamas sound pretty epic.
You could have sleep among us.
That reminds me, we should play Among Us. We should get a bunch of people to play Among Us.
I am very bad at it.
I've played it like once.
I have thought about going to one of those stores that can print fabric stuff for you to get a printing of the pattern that's on my shirt so that I can make my actual shirt to wear IRL. But they're very expensive.
Yeah.
I wish those companies weren't so expensive because it would be fun. Oh wow, I forgot how dirty it was when it started. Continue. Are you ready for the next job?
I'm watching us clean the thing, actually.
Okay. You'll be excited.
Okay, now I'm ready.
It looks like it might be a giant robot for you. Get in the robot.
Ooh, hello.
Oh look, there's a fan behind us. Cleanse initiated. Oh, it's red. You couldn't even tell. It was so dirty.
They're so covered in filth.
I wonder what would happen if I use this one.
The purity seal had to be purified. Ironic.
I think it's better if you just come up close.
Yeah,
Man, this one doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
I keep wanting it to work because it has a wide area, but it doesn't do much.
Yeah, but it's just not quite enough. Look at the toes. They're becoming clean.
Clean feet, clean feet. Are feet people into robot feet?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. People who are into robots are their own people. And within them, I'm sure that you have robot feet people.
But are there feet people who are also into robot feet that aren't into robots as a whole, just their feet?
Think to that, all I have to say is there are people into horses. So probably.
Yeah, there's people into just about anything.
Oh gosh, we were talking about Uma Musume earlier.
We sure were.
Oh, whoops. Which, by the way, you know what? I feel like making this comment now, right? Uma Musume makes me amused because on first looking at it, there was the thought of they turned horses into cute girls. That's so weird. And then I stopped and thought about it, and I'm like, how is that weird? People basically already treat their horse like their wife. It's just the next obvious step.
Pretty much, yeah.
Same with cars. Where is my car waifu game?
I mean, if you've watched Drawfee at all, there's Legoshi Truck.
Huh.
Long story short, artist YouTube that I watch, for some reason as a meme, draws Legoshi from Beastars, but as a truck.
That's a thing. I need to watch Beastars. I have a furry friend that told me I need to. The only reason it's important to point out that a furry told me to watch it is because I think that's funny.
Yeah, because it's Beastars.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting how, this is not a judgment on anyone because, I understand gestures at my model. That there is genuinely a distinct difference between people who are into, girls with ear and tail versus people who are into, actual furries.
Yeah.
They're not always one and the same.
They are not.
And I just wonder, what it is about the brain that creates that line where it's like, oh yeah, ears and tail cute, but once you lose the human face, not cute anymore.
I don't know. Beastar's weird, style's weird, a little bit.
I've never watched it. I had a friend who was very into it.
Cool.
And so most of my knowledge about it comes from her.
This is a little bit weird. You know what? It brings up an interesting point I've had to make a couple times, right? I've had people try to make a point about how 3D anime is totally good now. Look at things like Beastars and Land of the Lustrous and Trigun Rampage and stuff like that. But here's the problem with that line of argument, which you may or may not have picked up on. Those are all the same studio. It's all Studio Orange. So all
So-
they're making the point of is one studio has figured it out.
Yeah, that doesn't mean the concept as a whole is good.
No, it means one studio figured it out. Also, I hate Trigun Stampede because they made Trigun 3D, and I have a visceral hatred for that. Same reason I will not watch the Dragon Ball film Superhero, because it's 3D animated, and I refuse to watch something based on a 90s property that's done in 3D. Also, will not watch the Berserk anime for that reason. Also,
But
that
what
one was just
happens
plain
if-
bad.
But what happens if I get a 3D based on my 90s style model?
Well, here's the thing. You aren't an anime that came out of the 90s that's being disrespected by mediocre art, so...
You know, that's fair.
I don't
really...
even like them updating these things at all.
Because I really want to do Just Dance streams, but I feel like there's no point in doing them unless I have full body tracking, and I can't do that with my 2D model.
This is actually fair.
But I also wonder, like, is that a game where, like karaoke, I have to do it unarchived, even though it's just playing the game, and the game has licenses to the songs, but I don't?
No idea.
I'm not sure either. I don't know how it works.
Jojo? Why are we commenting Jojo?
Is JoJo's not a 3D anime. Unless there is
Yeah,
one that I don't know about.
Well, there was an OVA that wasn't great. An interesting fun fact, it was, I think it was Stardust Crusaders. They have an OVA from, like, the 90s that is mediocre. That nobody remembers because they just know the more recent anime adaptation.
Interesting.
And I find that fascinating. I have not seen this OVA, by the way. I just think its existence is fascinating. Also, it has no good video games, which should be completely unsurprising, but that's not true. There's like I think it's a NES era fighting game that's very good. Probably SNES, actually, if it was console.
Alright, I'm gonna get down and dirty with the feet here.
Oh no.
Well, there was a lot of stuff on those, though.
I need to actually watch JoJo. I
You
finished the first arc, and I never finished the second one.
Same. I need to just, like, rewatch it from the beginning because my first watch through of it, I was drunk out of my mind.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's fair. I kind of never finished it because the thing is, I don't like the concept of stands, and I am a very unique individual in that regard.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who that is their complaint from it. I have a lot of people who have complained that it is very over the top, but
That's the good part.
right, that's what I think as well. But that's also why I watched it drunk. My friends and I were drunk, and they were like, what's the most ridiculous anime we can think of to watch? And, well, there you have it.
JoJo's up there. In fact, JoJo is heavily inspired by Fist of the North Star.
That is a thing that I have heard.
I have also not watched Fist of the North Star.
Same.
That is something I need to fix. I also really need to watch Votoms. I really, really need to watch that one.
I don't think I've watched that one either.
Very old mecha anime.
You know what I realized today that I think is absolutely just rude? Crunchyroll does not have the Idolmaster Puchimas. And why? They should. It's the best Idolmaster, and if you disagree with me, you're just wrong.
I disagree. I like the original Idolmaster.
But I love them being little chibi goblins. It's so
Yeah,
cute.
I don't actually know that one. I like the original game that was originally released on arcade.
So
That is.
imagine if all of the idols from Idolmaster were chibi children goblins having to be taken care of by the manager. That's that show.
That sounds fantastic, and also
It's-
not too dissimilar from the core concept.
It's amazing. I love it. They're so cute.
It
The
seems to
the
incorporate-
freaking twins, God, they're such gremlins. I love it. Ah,
Best girls?
twins are best girls.
This is probably true. JoJo seems to incorporate 3D into its animation. I don't remember it having 3D. I'll have to look at that again. Maybe they added that later on, potentially. A lot of stuff started adding 3D semi-recently. Mecha has been ruined for it, by the way. I am so disappointed by like everything Mecha that's been released in the last couple of years. Because it's either been bad or it's been ruined by 3D. Yeah. I'm not happy with the new Evangelion film. Of course, I thought Evangelion was supposed to have been ended years ago, so really don't understand why that film exists anyway, but they
Yeah.
CG'd all the Evas. So, I don't agree with, but I understand the idea that a lot of mecha is being 3D animated because a lot of the animators are not familiar with, they don't have a lot of experience with actually drawing mecha stuff, but that goes out the window when you're talking about Eva units. They have human proportions. They are organic in nature. They're not actually mechs in the first place. So, like, why were they CG'd? The answer is because studio's lazy and CG's cheap.
Yeah.
That's the actual reason to do it. And it's so upsetting. And it's so upsetting for Ava, especially because Ava's original animation is god tier. It's incredible.
In general,
And it's fun.
In general, I just don't understand why that movie exists as a whole. Because you're right, it should have ended.
Ava ended years ago. Twice. Yeah, we're streaming late because I got off work late. So this is what we're doing.
It's eepy hour, Powerwash. We're working the night shift.
Yeah.
We're working the
And
night
complaining
shift
about
to
mecha.
prepare everything for the big fights.
Yes.
We have to make sure these are ready to go stomp their enemies.
Oh yeah, but then the other one, back to mecha and incorporating CG. So I did really enjoy Hathaway. But man, Hathaway would have been so much better if they had just drawn the mechs. And you can tell. That's the worst part. You can tell that they don't even think it's as good because the mechs are never in focal point. Ever. They never have that. They're always shown at night or not like center frame because it doesn't look as good and they don't move as well and the models have limited range of motion compared to just drawing them, and it ruins what is otherwise a phenomenal film and absolutely gorgeous. Although I will still use it as a point to people in regards to Gundam and Gundam's themes and concepts because man, I had a huge argument with somebody prior to watching it about how Gundam isn't actually about the mechs, and so things like Gundam Evolution suck and shouldn't be made. And then Hathaway, I go and watch like right after this huge argument, and it takes 30 minutes for a single mech to show up in the film. It takes half the film before our first mech fight.
That's actually kind of insane.
And it opens with people shooting each other on a spaceship. Because Gundam's not about the mechs, it's about the people.
A 3-hour-long movie. I would never be able to sit through a 3-hour-long movie. I would die.
3-hour long. What movie was it? Dune length movie? No, that's Lord of the Rings length movie. Lord of the Rings was the original. It was Interstellar. I need to watch that one.
Oh, I've heard that one is good, but I have not watched it because of how long it is.
I want to watch Event Horizon. Tangentially related. Gosh, so many of them are dinging right at the same time. It's wonderful.
It's so good. This one feels easier than the tank was.
For now.
It's true.
It's smaller. I think that's part of it. The pelvis armor is still dirty.
This is fair. I don't think I've seen very many of his movies, to be honest. So I would not know.
I don't know McConaughey really. What am I doing? Oh, I can pick that up?
What? That's so useful. Hacks.
I didn't know that was actually interactable. I now can't put it down. There we go.
Hacks. This is so helpful, actually.
I had no idea the scaffolding was an actual interactable object.
This makes everything so much easier.
It does. Wow, they actually thought about things.
I want to be on the robot. Let's go.
Okay, but like, Lord of the Rings is the original, though. Both the book and film were made before Dune. Dune's books and film, I should say. Also, Tolkien didn't like Dune. He said, what did he say? He disliked it with some passion, I think was the exact wording of his letter. I just think that's funny, not my personal feelings on Dune. I love Dune. I'm like 2 chapters in, and I think it's great.
I just personally cannot think about Dune anymore without thinking about the freaking popcorn buckets.
What? Also, what do you mean
you haven't seen that?
It?
So,
no, I haven't.
For the new Dune movies, they decided at the movie theaters they were going to do this thing where they were going to make this special collectible popcorn bucket.
Yeah, they do.
And the problem is like, they were like, oh yes, it's the big giant, the big giant hole, the Dune hole. It's late. Don't worry about it.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the problem is they made it so bad where like all of the little, the Dune nosy, exactly. Lucas knows what I'm talking about. They made the popcorn bucket. It looks like a giant fleshlight, Arashi. It wasn't supposed to, but it does, and it's really bad. It's the Dunacy.
Okay.
You're welcome for this fact. Just Google Dune popcorn bucket, you'll see what I mean.
Well, now I guess I have to because I'm confused. Let me tab back over to my Windows or my browser. Let's go back to Google. Hold on. Let's see. Why is it the first search suggestion?
Because it's that bad. I wasn't wrong. Right?
Oh, man.
It's so bad. They should have never made that. The worst part too that I hear from people is that the people who actually got it and tried to eat popcorn out of it, it doesn't even work for that because the hole is too small. So when they go to pull their hand out with their fistful of popcorn, their hand just pops the whole lid off with it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'd expect. I mean, those fibers don't look like they're made for letting things escape. They look like they're made for trapping prey.
Yeah.
They remind me of whales. I forget the word for that part of whale, but
the baleen.
yeah.
Their teethies. Apparently the posterior armor needs more cleansing.
Clipsy regrets looking it up too.
I mean, as you should. It's an experience.
Oh boy, I can put on the big attachment. Don't know what it's good for, but it's a big attachment. Alright, what are we missing?
There we go.
The posterior armor.
His butt. Gotta wash his butt.
Layman's terms, yes. I think it's the top that's got. Yeah.
How are we supposed to get up there?
With the tiny befooted stool. Step stool with feet.
And his headlight. Where's his headlight?
What's probably on his head.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay. I have cleaned his posterior armor.
I have cleaned his headlight.
Nice, nice.
What is
Reactor exhaust manifolds.
Right? What even is that?
Reactor side armor, reactor pipe, vent. There we go. Gotcha.
You did it! Woohoo! That one was way faster than the tank.
Yeah, he was much smaller.
Oh.
Oh no. Ooh. Hey, that's where we were before too. I'm gonna wander around now. Wait, I should actually watch
The video.
the video. So satisfying.
Oh good, the next one is another tank.
Oh good, what tank is it?
Rogaldorn battle tank.
Rogaldorn.
Tank time.
I wonder if we'll get to clean a Lehman Russ. Probably not. It looks like they're sticking to Space Marine stuff.
Of course they are, because they want people to buy the Space Marine board game.
Well, I just want them to buy Space Marines in general.
This one is covered in dust.
It was probably out in the desert.
I wonder
if it's.
This is
actually
relatively
a large
effective against the dust, but not really.
I have an entire Imperial Guard faction that does desert warfare stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that. I really don't think that the water brush does anything.
I don't even know how to
Nozzle,
equip
that's
it.
the word. Water brush.
Metal cleaner. Are cleaners?
Cleaners? What do you mean?
You don't know. I don't even know if I have them properly equipped. Oh, this is a guard tank. You might see a demon rust then. It's possible. Look, it says Katie on the side. Good old Cadia. You know, they blew it up.
Really?
Cadia fell. They destroyed Cadia. Now, the last Black Crusade, they finally did it. Finally destroyed Cadia.
This one has a lot of rust on it.
It's probably been through a lot. It's from Cadia. Well, it's a Cadian tank. It's not necessarily from Cadia itself, but... I'm upsetted by the fall of Cadia.
Upsetted.
The Cadians, yes. The Cadians still fight on. They are good soldiers. They're also like what you will always see when it comes to Imperial Guard. They're just the most iconic ones.
Stadia. No, not Stadia. The Cadia.
Cadia. My favorite Imperial Guard faction, though, as I discussed before when we were talking about 40k, is the Death Corps of Krieg. Because I enjoy cosplaying as World War I Germans.
I mean, that's better than cosplaying as World War II Germans.
Yeah, they get cooler gas masks. And trench coats.
I bet you would
fact.
enjoy going to, like, a war technology museum.
Absolutely. Love walking through all of the World War II stuff at the Air and Space Museum.
This is fair. The Air and Space Museum is pretty cool. I have not been to it since I was 10 or 11, I think, probably.
I don't remember when the last time I was there was.
I went up to that area a lot when I was a little kiddo, but I haven't been there as an adult.
Oh, I did miss the cherry blossoms this year.
Where's that little stool? I need him.
Good question.
Oh, there's a ladder over here.
Oh, nice. Oh, there's the stool.
I like the little stool. He looks like a robot.
I appreciate the existence of the scaffolding. I really need to dip more into the tabletop game. Oh, I can complain about tabletop stuff, actually.
You sure can.
Sure can. So, this isn't the 40K. This isn't Games Workshop. This is, I believe it was Mantis doing a Halo tabletop game, and it is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. So,
Really?
Halo tabletop game sounds amazing, right? You know what doesn't sound amazing? Halo tabletop game that exclusively replicates the multiplayer experience from the Halo games, which means it's just Spartan games.
What?
Yeah. How stupid is that?
Why would it not be a war game?
Because 343 doesn't understand their own IP and doesn't understand that Halo is about humanity and actually the Marines more than it is about Master Chief and the Spartans. Why do you think they had an entire game to take it away from Master Chief? It's because nobody was paying attention to the fact that it's about the Marines. Master Chief is barely a character. He is just a culmination of Jesus parallels.
I mean, you're not wrong.
His name is literally a Bible verse.
You're not wrong.
I love Chief. I actually do quite like Master Chief and the Spartans in Halo. Halo's fantastic. But yeah, it's just so disappointing to me to see them do a tabletop game and be like, herp and derp, we're just gonna have only Spartans. You can't get elites. You can't get ODST. You can't even get grunts. It's all Spartans. I don't care. I'm not playing it. I want full teams. I want to recreate battles from the stories. Spartan games is boring. If I wanted to play Spartan games, I would actually play Halo. Ooh, I could go on another rant. 343 hates money. 343. I don't think 343 actually hates money. I think they just don't understand their IP. Yeah, they hate money.
Yeah.
I hate it.
They also hate good decisions, I agree.
They hate good decisions. Why did the Didact ever exist? I hate the Didact. I actually, genuinely, Halo shouldn't exist post-Halo 3. There's nothing to write about. They had to undo the writing of Halo 3 in order to continue the Halo franchise outside of Halo 3. Because guess what? The Human Covenant War is over. There is no Covenant anymore. It's supposed to end at 3. Chief is supposed to be dead. But we had to bring Chief back, and we needed to contrive things so that the Covenant can still be around, because guess what? Halo doesn't work without the Covenant. Mechanically speaking, you cannot have Halo without the Covenant. Because the Covenant, in terms of the different aliens and their behavioral patterns, are so ingrained into the Halo design formula that it is not possible to have a Halo game without them. And thus, they had to contrive a way to keep having Covenant despite the fact that the war is supposed to be over.
Yeah. It's just a simple case of a good game ruining their story by wanting to keep the multiplayer going forever.
Should have just kept making things set within the original conflict. That means you can't use Chief anymore, though, and they can't have that. And they also have to invent, which they should have done sooner, mind you. They had to invent the Banished in order to keep the loop going without it necessarily being the Covenant. Because it's just the Covenant, but red, which means they can keep their gameplay design. I also hate the Banished. I think they're stupid and don't make sense.
Here's an idea they could try. I know it's a wild concept, but it could be called making a new game.
That's the best idea, and that's what Bungie attempted to do with Destiny.
Yeah. Attempted is the key word there.
Attempted is the key word there.
Destiny had so much promise, and then, well, we got something.
Yeah, can't disturb the status quo, exactly. I also don't like, I'm in a bit of a minority here, I don't like Halo Infinite. I think Infinite's design philosophy was wrong.
I honestly have not played a Halo game since Reach.
Reach was the last Halo game, so that's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so my issue with Infinite, I don't think Infinite's bad. I think to say Infinite is an objectively bad game would be just wrong. It would be objectively incorrect to say that. However, it relies too much on conventional design philosophy. Halo Infinite is a typical conventional open world game, but with Halo. Why? Why does it play that way? You know, you had the formula for how to build Infinite within the frameworks of Halo Combat Evolved that came out on the original Xbox.
You sure did.
And they didn't do that. Instead, they had this weird system where it's open world and then instanced areas for missions and stuff. No, what you do, because and I saw somebody argue that this is a good thing because what it lets them do is they have these open world maps and then the instant stuff brings you back into corridor shooting. But hey, guess what? The original Combat Evolved did that too on the original Xbox without the need of instanced zones because its level design was flawless, actually. It was large open scale maps for you to use the vehicles in and did playgrounds for the vehicles that then funneled you into corridors in the natural design of the Halo facility so that it would seamlessly transition between open vehicular combat segments and corridor shooting. And instead of doing that, they had to instance everything because they don't understand anything outside of conventional game design and didn't bother to reference the original game for what they should do. Also, we still don't have endemic life. We don't have native life on the Halo ring, despite the fact that that was something showed off in the original 2000 E3 trailer for Halo.
This is hot takes on Halo with Arashi.
It is. I have a lot of them. Also, why is there a grappling hook in Halo Infinite? The answer is because Titanfall 2 did it and then nobody stopped. I hate that. They're all the same. They all feel the same because of it. Apparently also the only person that seems to think that there is a potential balance issue with the grappling hook when it comes to mounting vehicles, because hijacking vehicles is already really easy in Halo, and then giving you a grappling hook just gives you a free access to the vehicle. Nobody else points that out, so maybe that's not an issue somehow. In which case, I would like somebody to explain to me why that's not an issue, because that seems like it should be an issue to me. But again, I didn't play it, so if players don't have that issue, players don't have that issue.
It's true. And I generally don't know, because I did not play it either.
Oh gosh, Clipsy's right. I'm gonna ruin all of my video essay topics. Ranting about Halo. Which means that I should stop before I go into the actual beautiful parallel of Master Chief laying down his life to save us from our sins, just like Jesus Christ from the Bible.
It's fine, we'll just get you talking again about why they can't remake...
They will never remake Battlefleet Gothic! Why won't they just... I don't even want them to make new rules, they just have to put up the old models for sale.
What if we end up coming across a Battlefleet Gothic model in this?
Okay, so here's the problem with that. Battlefleet Gothic was, fleet battles. Big fleet battles. These are, like, city-sized cathedrals that fly through space.
And, did I stutter?
I don't want to have one in this. Oh boy, that would be a nightmare to clean. Why do games keep making the second coming? I don't know.
Because there is only one thing that AAA games know how to do, and it's called steal from already existing stories. And what's the most well-known existing story? The Bible.
This is true, but also I think it is simply because it is a very easily recognizable concept that does resonate with a lot of people.
hot take here. People, because the Bible is considered one of the most well-known literary works, people think that if you reference the Bible, it automatically makes what you're doing a literary masterpiece.
I do have to clarify because of the topic at hand. Halo is a literary masterpiece. However, this is true.
But video games do it a lot. Gestures at Bioshock.
Bioshock is great. So, oh man, this one I should save for a video topic as well. But the themes of Bioshock are fantastic. I love. Oh man, I could get into it.
Oh yeah, the Bible absolutely is whack from a literary standpoint. However, it is one of the most well-known literary works, therefore it is easy to make references to it and have them be understood.
Yes.
And people think that the key to making a, quote, literary masterpiece is to be able to reference other literary works.
Of which we need more Beowulf references, by the way, in literary works.
I agree.
See Tolkien's entire library.
At this point, I would argue we need more references to Tolkien's works.
Tolkien's works are great.
I actually had to read The Hobbit for one of my literature classes. We have reached that point.
That's good. The Hobbit is good, and they can't have you read The Lord of the Rings for a class because, oh boy, that's long.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to have people read and do a report on one Hobbit book versus all of the Lord of the Rings.
The children's book known as The Hobbit. I need to reread The Lord of the Rings. It's been a while.
It has been what we would call a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute. I read it as a child. It's been a bit.
You mean you are no longer a child?
Define child, because internally I am 7 years old and that will never change.
I understand this statement.
Yep. Yeah. I ain't fetus. This is true. Clipsy pretends to be fetus. Well, I told Clipsy she needs to play Tekken because one of the characters is a literal bear and his name is Kuma.
I mean, that's pretty Clipsy. There ain't no way around that.
Tekken is so funny, by the way, because Tekken is one of those fighting games that is pseudo-realistic. Its entire physics concept is built around this realistic momentum. Each button correlates to a limb, and then one of the characters is just bear.
I don't think I've played a Tekken game since 4. I think 4. So it's been a while.
So I played a little bit of 6 maybe? Tekken 6 or 7, and that's it. Tekken was one that I actually never got into because I went, this is confusing. Then Genesis started playing 8, and so I picked up 8.
Yeah, I haven't played much. I just had one friend in college that was into it, so I'd play with him occasionally. But
I never have any friends who are into any fighting games. Everyone I know hates fighting games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then they're wrong.
I agree, and I keep telling them that. Everybody I know are those people that go, I don't like fighting games because I'm not good at them, and every time I go, you're not good at them because you don't play them.
Correct.
You're not going to be just good. Nobody is, quote, good at fighting games. That's not how they work. These games are intentionally high skill floor, and in some ways unintuitive until you learn them. You will not pick one up and be good.
Have/do you play Injustice?
I do not like Injustice.
Really?
I don't. I think they're horribly balanced and they're clumsy and awkward. And the clumsy and awkwardness comes from the fact that they are the Mortal Kombat engine, and I don't like Mortal Kombat. I really
Fair.
don't.
I will agree with you on the imbalance thing. They're definitely not. Some of those characters' ults, if they get it off, you just die, and there's no way around that.
Aquaman shouldn't exist.
Aquaman has no right being Aquaman in that game.
Aquaman, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Injustice. I like,
The fighting games I have the most experience with, though, are Injustice, Soul Calibur 6,
Soul Calibur, good.
and the entire Virtua Fighter series.
That's a classic. I've never played a single Virtua Fighter game, but that is a classic franchise.
We have to find a way to play it together, please.
We should. And I think the answer... Oh, wait, maybe not together that way. I was about to say, I think the answer is actually to play Yakuza, but I'm not sure...
Oh, yeah.
How that's set up, actually, so... We gotta run some Tekken in Discord with everyone sometimes. I agree, Genesis. I missed it the other day, I did, which is big sad. I've been playing Alyssa the Robot Girl. I am having a lot of fun playing Alyssa the Robot Girl. And then I found the customization screen, and do I want to admit to that?
Do it.
Yes. It's almost 2 a.m. Nobody's here anymore anyway. Alyssa is now dressed as a schoolgirl and has white hair because, of course.
Makes sense
I found
to
the
me.
character customization screen.
I forgot. There's 2 other fighting games I remembered existed I have experience with. Actually 3, technically. So the Marvel vs. Capcom games, which also then means the Marvel vs. Street Fighter games.
Means some of the greatest fighting games ever made.
Correct.
You know what is actually? Nobody here, at least 3 people are here. Yes, but they're the 2 a.m. degenerates. It's fine.
I love Marvel vs. Capcom. I really like Morgana a lot.
Okay. Do you actually know where Morgana comes from?
Nope, I just love playing her in fighting games.
You're one of those. You're a Morgana.
She is great in those games. She is great to play. She is very fun.
Yeah. It's 10 p.m. No, it's 2 a.m. You
It's
can't
2 a.m.
gaslight me this way. Yeah, it is an East Coast thing you don't understand. You were just called a 2 a.m. degenerate. You're right. So she's from Darkstalkers, which is one of the greatest fighting games ever made. And she has more fans than there are fans of Darkstalkers, because she has maintained her status within Marvel vs. Capcom for longer than they've been making those games.
Because she is one of the best characters in Marvel vs. Capcom, and if you disagree, you're wrong.
So, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had BB Hood, also known as Boletta, if you go by the Japanese name, which I just like Boletta more, so I go by the Japanese name. And she is one of my favorite Darkstalkers characters. Is this entirely because she's Psycho Little Red Riding Hood? Yeah.
That's a pretty cool idea, though, actually.
Did you know that she is actually one of the highest ranked, monster killers, despite being an average human with no powers?
That's pretty good, actually.
She's a psychopath.
Other game that I have experience with is, of course, we all have to have experience with Dead or Alive.
okay. I got really mad. Really mad is an exaggeration. I got peeved, annoyed, ticked off. I don't know which one's mild enough for what I mean. But somebody did annoy me a little bit with when it came to Dead or Alive, because they were talking about... This was somebody who didn't know what they were talking about, by the way, and they knew they didn't know what they were talking about, but they were talking about Dead or Alive and said something along the lines of, isn't that a franchise that, like, annoyed its player base by, like, trying to take itself too seriously and make it a serious fighting game when they were fan service games or whatever? And I'm like, no, it actually didn't. First of all, the Dead or Alive 6 still has all the exact same fan service outfits in it. They didn't get rid of them. They just gave a new default for the main girl, so that people would get off their back for being overly sexualized. But the old outfit is still there, it's just her P2 skin now. And the boob jiggle can't be turned off now, which used to be a thing. And they were always serious fighting games.
Yeah.
They didn't have fan service plot lines, they just had jiggle physics. They were always good games.
Exactly.
It's genuinely a very good fighting game. So that was like, it did annoy me a little bit. I'm like, no, they were always serious fighting games, and anybody who actually plays them will tell you so. People's opinion is tainted because they saw the beach volleyball games and assumed that was the entire franchise.
Yeah, you cannot tell me that Dead or Alive is not a real fighting game. If you try to say that, you are just wrong.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about, because those are very intense fighting games, actually. Good games with hot girls and good physics and sweat and dirt and bruising. I genuinely really enjoy Dead or Alive. And also there are men. Something most people don't realize.
Also, a fun fact, there are some characters that are in Dead or Alive that are also in Virtua Fighter.
There are also some Virtua Fighter characters in Dead or Alive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones whose voice lines sound weird because they are clearly recorded with worse hardware because they come from Virtua Fighter.
But it's fine because I love them.
Because, yeah, it's fine because they come from Virtua Fighter. It's honestly awesome.
My nostalgia.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to find a copy of Virtua Fighter 4 and a PS2 and make you play it with me.
Well, the good news is I do have a PS2, and I quite love it.
So I just have to find a copy of Virtua Fighter 4, and then we're set.
Oh.
Excellent.
We are Gucci.
Because in my opinion, that is the best one. I may be biased because it's the one I played the most of and had for my PS2 when I was younger, but I think it's the best one.
I have never played any of them. Now, you want to know the actual greatest fighting game ever made? This is bias, but I will not accept argument.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Project Justice?
I have not.
AKA Rival Schools 2. It is one of the best fighting games. It's not, but it's my favorite fighting game ever made. It's 3D. So what it is it's Street Fighter Light, but it's also 3D and has some of the best dodging and counter mechanics I've experienced in a fighting game. And also launchers that knock you way high into the air so that you can then jump up and air juggle them infinitely.
I love that.
Full-on infinite aerial combo. The game is so much fun. It's so good. I love Rival Schools, and I'm in a weird state where I'm like, I want them to make a third one. I also don't want modern Capcom to touch it.
I understand that, though. I really do.
They have not been doing... Well, okay, so people really like Street Fighter 6, but prior to 6, they've been in a very rough patch. People didn't like 5, and 4 was considered mediocre. And personally, I don't like their modern art design. I liked Third Strike. I don't like their switch to 3D. I don't like their 3D models. I think 5 is a very ugly game, personally.
You just seem to, in general, be not a fan of a lot of the 3D stuff.
In general, but, like... I don't like Street Fighter style in particular. I think it's ugly. I like their work with their sprites. Their sprite work was phenomenal. And they ditched that for mediocre looking 3D models. I'm not a fan of a lot of things. This is true.
Well, if you are a fellow fighting game enjoyer, then that sounds like at some point we have to try doing Idol Showdown together.
Yeah, absolutely. Also Third Strike, because actually, not biased, Third Strike is the greatest fighting game ever made.
Maybe a little biased.
No, Third Strike is the greatest fighting game ever made. That is objective reality. I absolutely love Third Strike. My only issue with it is the roster is pretty tiny, and I wish some of the classic Street Fighter characters were in there. Or I guess I should say I wish more of the classic Street Fighter characters were in there. But on a caveat to that as well, I wish Dudley were put in modern Street Fighter games, because Dudley is one of the best characters they've ever made. Third Strike is very good. Also, actually, you know what's also an amazing fighting game? Garo Mark of the Wolves. Phenomenal fighting game with a roster of like 6 characters. I think it's like 10, but still it's really small.
I agree with Clipsy. Granblue Fantasy versus another good
Granblue Fantasy
game.
versus okay. Street Fighter 6 exists. I can't speak on it. Like I haven't looked into it really. I haven't played it. I like their old games better. But I hear it's very good, so maybe I'll look at it. Also, I don't want to pay for it because video games are expensive. So that's part of why I haven't played it, because video games are just expensive.
Yeah, you gotta wait for stuff to go on sale if you want it.
Yeah.
I understand. Except for when I pay full price for the WWE game, but that's different.
Stuff I played.
Technically, the WWE games are fighting games.
Technically, but like...
Technically being the key word there.
Technically, but it's fake fighting, just like the actual sport.
My favorite part of it is just getting to design wrestlers and come up with what their whole theming and everything is gonna be.
Oh, that part's very fun. I particularly like when HoloLive was making themselves.
Oh, that's beautiful. I should make HoloLive. I should make the Bow Bows.
And then making them fight each other.
Exactly.
Granblue Fantasy versus is okay.
I think somebody should make the Bow Bows as wrestlers, where they throw ponderings at each other.
That'd be pretty good. I also very, very much like old Guilty Gear. If that sounds pointed, that's because it is. I don't like Strive, but if you want to get into Guilty Gear, pick up Xrd. It's very good, specifically Revelator 2. If you care about roster. If you care about story stuff, you do kind of need Sign first, but if you don't really care much for story stuff, Revelator 2, because it's the complete roster.
Good to know.
Xrd is fantastic. The actual best one, though, is Plus R, which, to be fair, is readily available now because it's on Steam and has rollback. So it is on Steam and has perfect netcode.
More games should be like that.
Cool. But I don't like Strive. Strive... I'm really mad about Strive, actually, because the thing with Strive is... ArcSys decided that they needed to make every single one of their fighting games a casual fighting game, apparently, because ever since they started making casual fighting games, they haven't made good fighting games. They came back into the limelight with Xrd, and then proceeded to make, what, Granblue Fantasy Versus, which is great, but it's casual, right? Objectively, it's a casual fighting game. And they've got, Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is a casual fighting game. They've got DNF Duel, which is, again, a casual fighting game. And then when they went and made another Guilty Gear, they made it a casual fighting game. They've just stopped making good fighting games. Also, I'm pretty sure the Blaze Blue franchise is dead now, too. Pretty sure they ended that one. So that sucks. I'm very upset with them for that. Like, I don't mind them making casual fighting games, because here's the kicker. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus shouldn't be a hardcore fighting game, because, do Grand Blue Fantasy players play fighting games? It's a gacha game.
So not really.
Not really. What about Dragon Ball players? No. Dragon Ball fans are anime fans. Anime fans don't play fighting games. That's why anime fighting games suck. So should that be casual? 100% makes sense. And in addition to that, we do need some more casual fighting games to get new players into the genre, right? Because fighting games are tricky, and until you get used to it, very unintuitive. So we do need those entry-level games. Guilty Gear should not have been one of them. Guilty Gear is an established, long-running, well-loved, hardcore fighting game that they minimized the mechanics for in order to appeal to people who don't play fighting games anyway. When they already had entry-level fighting games that they had been making up until that point. And they stopped working on XR to do it. Which is like the worst part to me. I would have loved to see XR still get updates and still get new characters in conjunction with Strive. Because XR is a true Guilty Gear game. Strive isn't. They got rid of half of their classic mechanics in order to make Strive.
Yeah, that is one thing that just annoys me with any developer, is when they go, we're making a new game from a completely different series, but because of that, we're going to discontinue doing anything for this game from another series. Yeah. It's like, bro, these games aren't even being played by the same people. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
We are indeed vibing. We're almost done with this tank, I think.
Yeah, I've got a spot on the rear armor I'm trying to find.
Oh, I saw something here. Where is it? Front skid plate.
Oh gosh, it's in there. No wonder I'm having a hard time finding it. Yeah, fighting games in particular annoy me too with that, because they keep trying to make fighting games appealing to a wider audience, but fighting games inherently don't have a wider audience.
No.
The same issue I have with 40K trying to appeal to a wider audience, it inherently doesn't have a wider audience. 40K is dark.
It's dark.
40K literally coined the term grimdark.
And it's not easy to get into.
Yeah, like, it inherently is not appealing to a wider audience. You can't make it such. And to try just diminishes the core experience.
Some companies need to understand that, like, certain things you want a wider audience for, but certain things you just need to focus on continuing to get money from the audience you have.
No, fighting games are the same way. The amount of people that I have personally met that go, oh, I'm not into fighting games because I'm not good at them, and refuse to learn, it doesn't matter what mechanics you make, they are not playing.
Correct.
It is inherently unappealing to most people. You cannot make a fighting game that is appealing to a mass audience. It's not possible. Part of that is because they have to be accountable for their own failure, and they don't want to do that.
Nope.
Because these are hardcore games with a high skill floor and deep learning curves, and you can't change that. You can add as many casual mechanics as you want into a fighting game, and you know what will happen? The hardcore players are going to exploit them. And they're still going to be better than everybody else, because it's a one-on-one game.
Yep.
That's what happens, actually, in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. They added new mechanics for, like, guard breaking and whatnot, and you know what happens? Good players use that to kill me when I'm down to one hit left.
I know, it's a wild
There are
concept that good players will also use new features.
Yeah, I really hate it with the features in what was it? Rising, I think it is. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising, I think was the technically second game. Um, but they've got, instead of the universal overhead, which was a good call that they had in the original version, they have a universal guard break now. Guard break and counter button, right? And all that it's good for is better players than me making sure I don't have a chance for a comeback. So it's not doing its job of being a mechanic to help lessen pressure for inexperienced players. They created a clutch that is just being used to abuse lesser players. And it shouldn't be in there at all, by the way. I hate universal counter. I hate universal guard break. I don't think they should be mechanics in any fighting game, because what they do is they deny you a chance for a comeback.
I can't understand how anyone thought that that would make the game easier.
It's a clutch mechanic. Or crutch mechanic, I mean. It's a crutch mechanic for people that aren't good enough. It's just that's not how it's being used.
I mean, yeah, any kind of crutch is going to be exploited by someone good at the game, unless it's, like, genuinely something that only turns on when you've lost enough consecutive matches or something.
Yeah. Which also shouldn't be a thing.
Nope.
Because these are inherently, these are games about competing against an opponent. Like, the idea of, like, leveling that playing field, what are you doing? What's the point of that? Just get good.
Right? Just get good. That's the moral of the story.
Yep. And I say that as somebody who's bad at fighting games, by the way. If you put me online, I will lose. I typically can't win, actually. It's something I need to work on.
Yeah, I know it's a wild concept, but believe it or not, there is people who can enjoy something they're not actually good at.
Yup. And I need to work on it a lot. Because I would like to be better at fighting games, but, fighting games hard and require a lot of commitment to get good at.
It's true. I like how the whole idea for this stream originally was, oh yeah, last time we spent like 5 hours talking about Warhammer. We should play Powerwash and we'll talk about Warhammer. And instead we're talking about fighting games and wrestling and hot takes on 3D anime. What are we missing?
Warhammer fighting game. That'd be great. Imagine that. Imagine the Emperor. Oh my gosh, Horus Heresy fighting game. That is such a. I mean, that's a terrible idea, but that's such a good idea. Because then you can have the Emperor as a playable character, and like all the Primarchs could be the playable characters. Oh, that's so good. Anyways,
it looks like we need the Gatling cannon well.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah. Let's talk about Warhammer. It talks about anything but Warhammer. Almost
It
just
happens.
like they'll do anything but remake Battlefleet Gothic.
They will do anything but remake Battlefleet Gothic, and I also still think they should just sell me a PDF for the Gorka Morka books, because I'd pay $40 for them. But now I'm just going to pirate them, because they won't sell it to me. They are losing money.
Literally, I saw this in a video a while back. I can't remember whose video it was, but it's a very good quote. Piracy is an issue of access, not an issue of willing to pay for it.
Yeah, honestly. Well,
A lot of people pirate things that they can't actually get otherwise, not necessarily things that they just don't want to pay for.
Yeah, it's a big problem with a lot of the retro games, too. It's like, they don't port them to anything. So what are you going to do? Track down a $200 copy of Mother? No, you're going to pirate it. 200? No, it's like a $3,000 game. It's ridiculous.
Here we are, Warhammer power washing. What do you think we're doing?
We're Warhammer Powerwash. We're Powerwash Warhammer. Actually,
Does,
do you know why Warhammer is called Warhammer? It's because there's a big Warhammer. That's not a joke either. There is actually a large religiously significant Warhammer in the original fantasy setting.
amazing.
Something about, what was his name? Sigmar. Sigmar has a hammer. Sigmar's a guy. Here's the problem. I don't know a lot about Warhammer fantasy lore, except that Skaven are awesome, and I love them. Skaven are rat people, and I wish they had a 40k equivalent.
So what you're saying is the only thing you know about Warhammer is Battlefield Gothica.
That's 40k. That's not classic.
Oh. I didn't hear your whole sentence. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
not
so
because
I know very little.
not because of Discord or anything, just because my brain apparently didn't process the whole sentence.
This is fair. Stowed ammo box.
What the heck is that?
Stowed ammo box.
It's probably up on the top, I would assume.
Stowed ammo box. There it is. I can't find where the dirt is. Got it.
Where is these stowed rods?
Rods.
I'm assuming it's
There it is. Yeah, it's right there. Oh wow, look, you have metal feet. But you know what's one of the greatest quotes in regards to the Skitarii, by the way, of which you are playing as right now?
What?
From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me.
Ew. Stinky flesh.
Can't these pirated albums of bands you can't find them on streaming. Yeah.
God, speaking of not being able to find things on streaming, wrestling. Listen,
old
man,
anime.
The pay-per-views are on the Peacock app, as well as all of the old backlogs of shows, which I have a subscription for. But currently, for some reason, Raw is on Hulu and transitioning to Netflix soon. And then SmackDown is on a whole different streaming site altogether. So there's 3 different streaming sites you technically need to watch all of the wrestling.
Gross.
Yep. And in order to watch it live, the only way to watch it live are to have the ones that include, quote, live TV, which for both Hulu and YouTube, the 2 you can get them on, is $70 a month. That's just cable at that point. I miss when WWE had their own app and you paid $12 a month for their app and you could watch all of their shows live as well as their entire backlog catalog, and that was it.
Yeah, things were better back then. I hate the current state of streaming. The current state of streaming is so stupid.
We hate cable. Let's create cable.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't. Here's the problem. Some morons in big companies who don't actually understand the trends that they are paid to understand went, there's big money in this Netflix thing. We all need streaming services, despite the fact that the only reason there was big money in Netflix is because it put everything under one banner now. So they all then took their stuff out of Netflix to make their own services that nobody's paying for. There's no money in streaming right now because of it. They're all failing because people aren't buying all of them. Because it's better to have cable now at this point.
Yep, they screwed themselves. This is the one thing that actually would have benefited from having either a monopoly or just 2 companies, and that's it.
Yeah. And also, like, did you know that Disney owns Hulu?
Yeah. So
So
they could
Disney
put
has
all the stuff
their-
together, but they don't.
and that's why they have a bundle for that and ESPN Plus, which they then count you as 3 subscribers if you have that bundle. By the way, to artificially boost their numbers to look better for the investors because they don't make money off of the platform.
Amazing. Also, can we talk about Netflix's stupid thing where you can't watch from different locations?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I understand why it exists. It's because Netflix stopped being profitable, so they have to get those subscribers any way they can.
Yeah, the problem that happens with that is I know they're in their logic. They're like, oh, well, this will just keep people from sharing an account. But it also has caused issues for people who just want to use their account while traveling.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know this is a crazy concept, but like, I'm not going to pay for it anymore, knowing that if I go visit my mom in another town, they're going to be like, oh, you can't watch it here.
I mean, and the easiest solution to their subscriber problem is actually have good shows on Netflix.
I mean, yeah.
That's why nobody's paying for it. People are canceling their Netflix subscriptions because, hey, turns out live action Avatar The Last Airbender was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Who would have
Almost
thought
like-
that live action Cowboy Bebop that pays no respect to the source material and was disavowed by the original creator wouldn't do well?
Yeah. It's almost like they didn't think, just do.
You can now access Hulu titles on Disney Plus. Yes, you can.
But it's so expensive.
Oh, it's an Imperial Knight.
It's for you.
It's an Imperial Knight. These things are dumb, but I love them. Look, it's a knight, but it's a mech. Obviously.
It's for you.
So you know what's interesting about Imperial Knights? So their individual has to have what was it called? The so they're wired into it. I forget the name of the part that the knight, the actual knight. Imperial Knights are piloted by a knight. Who would have thought? They have like whole knight families. They are aristocracy. But the knight itself has to don a sort of, I think it was a command helm, I want to say they called it. I forget, and it's driving me crazy. That connects them to the machine. And the crazy thing about it is the machine has memories of all of the knights that have piloted it beforehand, which has the awful side effect of potentially driving the pilot insane.
That is cool, but also very dark.
Welcome to 40K. That's not even the darkest stuff. Slaanesh exists. I'm gonna keep making that joke, and I don't know if you get it.
Someday.
Someday. How do I explain Slaanesh in simple terms? Slaanesh is one of the 4 Chaos Gods. So the 4 Chaos Gods, you've got Khorne, god of war and bloodshed. You've got Tzeentch, the god of knowledge and trickery, my personal favorite. Nurgle, who is the god of plague and decay. And then you've got Slaanesh, the god of excess and pleasure.
Well, that sounds like I already know where that's going.
Yup. Noise Marines are also Slaaneshi, and Noise Marines are great. They're metalheads, but space marines that play electric guitars that make your brains explode.
I love that, actually. That's kind of amazing.
They are fantastic and a product of the 90s where the game came from. Khorne is a god, yes. That is not how you spell it, though. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull thrones. That is a Khorne chant. I should introduce you to a channel I watch. The channel name is Pancreas No Work.
Sounds like he has diabetes.
That's exactly correct. Its pancreas no work because his pancreas no work. But anyway, he does a lot of 40k content. A lot of, like, well, Warhammer in general. His favorite's actually Warhammer Fantasy. I have learned a lot about Warhammer Fantasy from him. Like, for instance, there's this elf person who originally in the lore had children with her son, and then they retconned that because they decided it was too much for their dark fantasy setting, like cowards.
Oof.
So that's fun. Grimgore Ironhide is cool. He once fought his way through a Skaven stronghold, which is something nobody has ever managed to do before, just because Skaven are so numerous that it's nearly impossible. And yeah, he just did it because he was bored and wanted to fight things, and they gave him a good fight because there were a lot of them.
That reminds me of a certain character from Grand Blue a little bit.
Nice. Orcs are fun.
Have you finished Grand Blue yet?
No,
Oh, sadness.
I have not. I like the orcs. The orcs are fun.
My water cup is empty. I should have had more water.
It's a dark fantasy setting, and that kind of stuff just falls right in line with mythology. So it's the kind of stuff that really should be in the setting. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah. It is. It's a little disturbing, but then if you actually read, like, the mythology stories and fantasy stories from that time period, you realize, oh, that kind of just is a thing that actually happened.
yeah.
Gestures at Zeus. Look at everything Zeus did.
Gestures at Zeus. Gestures at Loki.
Yeah.
Also, she was a follower of Slanesh. So that just checks out. I don't know, it annoys me. They're trying to declaw Warhammer while also taking it more seriously than they ever took it in the past. And it's paradoxical.
How do you take something more seriously while also trying to make it less dark?
It's crazy, particularly with 40k, because 40k was always very satirical. And it also looked like a metal album cover in every piece of illustration, and now it's neither.
That's silly.
It's very disappointing. Oh, it wasn't even Bloodline Must Be Pure stuff. It was classic manipulation on both parties. Also, what was his name? What was his name? I gotta remember his name. There's a really cool guy who's a necromancer. I don't remember his name, but he's cool. In Warhammer Fantasy. Nope, don't remember his name. Very sad.
You tried.
It's gonna bother me now, though. There's some vampires too, I guess. Stuff. I like the Slayers. They're dwarves. So the Slayers are dwarves who have taken the Slayer Oath, which is basically they're gonna keep fighting really, really strong things till something kills them. It's kind of like an execution via combat.
That's kind of wild.
Slayers are very cool, though. there's a series of books, the Gotrek and Felix books, which are it's the story of a slayer who is too good at killing things. He is off looking for that perfect thing to finally kill him so that he can fulfill his oath as a slayer or whatever. But he just kills everything, always, because he's that good at it.
That sounds like a hungry, mongry caterpillar who eats the world.
Perhaps. I haven't read any of the Gotrek and Felix books yet, and I really need to fix that. They're supposed to be very good. I have one of them lying around somewhere.
It kind of reminds me, there's a story in Magic. I want to say it's the story for Karn. I'm not 100% sure though. But basically, it's a story in Magic where this guy is kind of a pacifist and kind of doesn't want to kill things. So in order to torture him, they put him in this essentially giant rolling ball machine. And because he's so big, anything they put in the machine with him, he just cannot help but crush it as he falls on it inside of the ball because of how gravity works. And he just inadvertently murders things for a very long time as his own form of personal hell.
Nice.
That seems very Warhammer story.
A little bit. It seems a little silly at the same time.
But you said Warhammer is a little silly sometimes.
Warhammer did used to be a little silly sometimes. They wrote Noise Marines.
I feel like in a lot of ways Warhammer and Magic almost at one point in time could have been from the same flesh and the same pool of interests, and since then they have gone completely different directions.
Kind of are, honestly, though, because Magic came out of like 80s, 90s. I'm not sure when Magic originally was published, but it came out of what, like 90s Sword and Sorcery?
Yeah,
which
it
is
came
a lot
out
of
in the
the
90s.
cloth that Warhammer was cut from. Yeah, I don't know the specific dates any of them actually were originally published, but it's all that same sort of like 90s era Sword and Sorcery, high/dark fantasy stuff. I feel like Warhammer has, at least from... So I'm an outsider to Magic, first of all, but Warhammer as an outsider, at least, it feels like it dips into the dark fantasy more than Magic does. Magic just seems classic Sword and Sorcery to me.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree
Warhammer,
with that.
Dark fan. Sword and Sorcery, which, mind you, Sword and Sorcery still goes hand in hand with dark fantasy. I personally really need to read the Elric books, which are a classic dark fantasy series that I have never actually read. Oh, look at that pauldron. Oh, it is beautiful watching that pauldron clean up.
There's a lot of stuff that I haven't read because I'm bad at actually finding the time to read.
Yeah. I should also look into some Conan the Barbarian stuff. Because as it turns out, Conan comics are kind of really cool, actually. Could not get away with writing them anymore, which is sad, but...
I did not realize how much you've gotten done here while I've been hyper-focused on this little leg.
I have been using broad strokes on wide surface area. I also liked the old Conan the Barbarian movie, the one with, I believe it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Good film.
If I went to refill my water, would you want me to BRB screen or just leave you to entertain chat while I refill my water?
You you can leave me to entertain chat. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. And I will do a quick water adventure.
All right.
If I have a way to mute just my microphone, I have to, right? Probably. Have to. Yes, I do. All right, I will return shortly.
Mute button. All right, chat. It's just me. We can break out the crazy topics now, like, Mech Warrior's cool. Mech Warrior, that's a top. Mech Warrior is really cool, though. I obviously, like, this is on my brain because I'm standing on top of an Imperial Knight, and that is a large mech in a similar vein to some of the things as Mech Warrior. But man, Mech Warrior is weird. Did you know that one of the most powerful organizations within Mech Warrior is Comcast? I'm trying to remember what they're actually called. Comstar. It's Comstar. That was the name of it. It's Comcast. So the reason they're as powerful as they are is because they've got the patent on the faster-than-light messaging system, which means if we want to communicate with anybody over hyperlight distances, you have to work with Comstar. You have to play nice with Comstar, and it has given them so much power within the setting. Also, its starter kit is way better than 40K's because you can get a $20 starter kit for it's BattleTech is BattleTech and Mech Warrior, if I'm not mistaken, are the same setting. But the BattleTech tabletop game has a $20 box set that comes with rules for two armies. Two armies? I think army isn't quite the right word. Two teams, squads. It's like 5 units per side, so army I don't think would be completely correct. But it's enough for 2 people with like 5 mechs per team. It's like $20, comes with full rules, and comes with a lore pamphlet. So it does way more for introducing a player to the setting while costing $20 instead of $200. And that's really nice. Have I actually played the game? No, I just have the starter kit sitting in a corner.
Good call.
Whoa, I was telling them about BattleTech.
I think I have maybe seen that name before.
BattleTech exists. Did you know? I'm going to say the same thing I said to them. Did you know that within BattleTech, one of the most powerful factions is Comcast?
Like the internet provider?
Yes, Comcast. So they're actually called Comstar. And the thing is, they have the patent on the faster-than-light messaging system.
So it's the internet.
Yup. If you want to communicate with your forces that are planetary distances apart, you have to play nice with Comcast. That has made them one of the most powerful factions in the setting.
I kind of hate it, actually.
I love it. I think it's awful, but I love it. It makes sense. Like, it's funny because Comcast being like this intergalactic powerhouse, but like, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, here's the thing though, like, IRL, I kind of hate Comcast. Why do I want them in my
hates
game?
Comcast. I'm pretty sure that's why they made them a villain.
I guess that's fair. I'm firing my lasers.
Water lasers.
Yes.
Just like in Pokemon.
Exactly.
Oh boy, I also don't like modern Pokemon. That's not even a hot take, though.
It's not.
It's sad that it's not, but it's not. I'm hoping.
I don't know. I found the Legends game to be better.
I need to play it. I have not yet. I'm hoping the next one's really good. They're making another Legends, and it's gonna be set in Poke France. I call it Poke France just because I can never remember what its actual name is.
Yeah.
But like, I like that region, so that's really cool. It appears.
Just hope that because it is Poke France, that they carry over Bread Dog. Because I think Bread Dog makes sense to be there.
Perhaps. Yeah, it kind of does. I am excited. They teased Mega stuff, so I am excited to see Mega's Fido.
Yeah,
Is
Fido.
it actually
Bread Dog.
called Fido? That's terrible.
He is. That is his actual name.
I hate it.
But he's a bread dog. He's so cute.
Oh gosh. You know an argument I don't like having?
What?
Speaking of Pokemon, the whole like which Pokemon gen is better things, because the thing is I absolutely like Gen 1 designs best. And then people try to make a point and I'm like, no, which one is one of the ones they make fun of? Magneton? Magnemite? I like Magnemite. I think Magnemite's a great design. It's like, it's magnets. And I'm like, yes, it's magnets. Because Pokemon used to be about semi-believable creatures. Instead of Bread Dog.
I don't know how living Magnus is any more or less believable than living bread, though.
It's much more believable. It has a face on it.
Bread Dog
like
also has a face.
Bread Dog is silly. I don't quite remember Bread Dog, actually, but Bread Dog is silly. I like the keys.
You're telling me keys with a face is more realistic than a dog made of bread?
Not at all. That's also not a Gen 1 design. That was, what, Gen 6? 7? I don't remember. I know Gen 1, I know 2, and then from there I can't remember which one's which.
I mean, my favorite is always going to be Crystal, because that was the first one I ever played.
Crystal is supposed to be a good gen. I like 1. I like Gen 1. I have a lot of time spent on that. I also like X and Y, whatever gen that is.
A lot of people say that, but I never ended up playing that one, and I probably should.
Megas are cool, but also I feel like ultimately ended up being a plague on Pokemon, because ever since they did Megas, they keep trying to one-up themselves by making a new install form for every Pokemon game. I hate it. Megas should have been a one-off.
Honestly, they could have just kept Megas and made new Megas rather than having to make different things.
The problem with that, lore-wise, that doesn't make sense, because Megas are directly attached to things within the region itself.
Well, they could have given it better lore then. And then they
But then how do you explain why we never saw it in any other region?
Oh. Well, then how do you... Why does it keep happening in a bunch of regions? They should just... They could have it be some...
Up new ones.
What it could have been is they could have made it some event that occurred that made it so that they could happen in any of the regions. Like,
true.
some event shook energy across the world, and now we're seeing these kinds of things pop up everywhere. Ta-da! There you go. I fixed your lore.
I just think they should have left it as one-off and left it at that. Made it a fun gimmick within X and Y specifically, because then they did, what else did they do? They make them really big, and now they've got, like, Terra whatever. It's dumb.
Well, you see, here's the thing. This is the problem with the video game industry. If something does well, they go, Well, now we have to replicate it. There's no chance that it's just did well because like, you know what I mean? Like,
it was a unique
there
in the
is
first
nothing.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing is special anymore. If it does well, it will no longer be special, and they'll make sure of that.
Oh. I do like Mega Gardevoir, said literally everyone ever.
You're not wrong. Everyone ever has probably said that.
The only reason I may eventually get back into Pokemon Unite is because Gardevoir is very fun. I did not enjoy my time with Pokemon Unite.
I wanted to enjoy it so bad, so I'm very sad that everyone said it was bad and I haven't actually tried it yet.
So I discovered through playing Pokemon Unite that I hate MOBAs. It's got nothing to do with Pokemon Unite. It has everything to do with the MOBA structure and how I wanted to throttle half of the people I ended up stuck on a team with, because we would have won, dang it, if I weren't the only person blocking top lane. Like, not even a joke. Like, I'm the only person blocking top lane, meanwhile half the team is pushing top lane and they're scoring because I can't hold them back on my own, and they're winning because they keep scoring on top lane. So one of you just divert to top lane, that's all we need to push them back. Oh my gosh, instead 4 out of 5 are down guarding bottom lane when half the enemy team is top.
Yeah.
So I refuse to touch League of Legends is the moral of that story. Because League of Legends is even worse, because Pokemon Unite is a simple game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would actually just, like, destroy your computer if you tried to play League.
Well, that I would, yeah. Define destroy computer, as in over-processing the computer, or like I break the keyboard?
Both.
Oof. I heard you can get League to run on the potato, so that part I'm not that concerned about, but like, ugh. They added the one girl with the feet, though, so it was tempting.
You're gonna need to explain more for that sentence. The one girl with feet. Does not every person have feet? Like,
I forget her name, but they added this character recently that's like a vampire girl, I think it was, but her key art prominently displayed her toes, and it created some controversy. People were really upset about it.
but because she
And I
had
thought that
feet?
was very funny. Well, specifically because it focused, the art, like, highlighted her toes. And everyone was like, oh, look at the weirdos that are sexualizing her feet, and it caused
Oh
a big
no,
uproar.
how dare somebody have feet, and how dare an artist play with perspective? A crazy concept.
Yeah, it was very funny. And also people being like, oh, this is a literal 12-year-old Ree, and everyone else being like, how do you get that? She doesn't look 12 to me, but okay. Also, by the way, I have no idea how old the character's supposed to be. But also, like, it's League. How do you not expect this? It's League. Half of these characters are supposed to be pretty.
Yeah.
Welcome to League of Legends.
I never quite understood that the outrage over people wanting character designs to be visually appealing.
Yeah, it's silly.
Oh,
Speaking
no.
of which, I'm very excited for Stellar Blade. That's not why, it's because the game looks good, but, like, it's related.
It is
Same
related.
controversy. But, yeah, everyone getting upset over the girl's toes for the League character made it tempting to look into League to play as the character people were upset about, but, like, oh boy, I would not do well with League.
No, especially if you were playing purposely to upset people.
I don't think most League players cared, to be fair. I'm pretty sure it was non-League players that were upset, but...
As
yeah.
it usually is, it's people who don't play a game trying to ruin the game for everyone, just like the people who try to claim GTA shouldn't exist because it teaches kids to be violent. And it's like, you're not the one playing it, you don't even understand. Just like all of the scares about fucking D&D back in the 80s. It's like, just actually look
the
at what you're
Satanic
complaining
Panic?
about. Yeah, just actually look at what you're playing.
The ironic thing is, so I will have to confirm this. I heard that the creator of D&D was Christian in the first place, which, if true, is funny. But also, D&D takes heavy inspiration from Lord of the Rings, which, hey, guess what? Was written by a devout Christian and also prominently has themes that come from the Bible.
They just don't realize how much Satan is actually in the Bible. It's what it really is.
Very possibly. No, a lot of the whole satanic panic nonsense is people just not even understanding D&D. Which, by the way, if you actually look into it, the church has not actually ever said anything about D&D being demonic or not. It's not there. Not in the catechism. It was never said. I did research this heavily to prove a point. The only thing you can find if you look into it is some concerned parents on forums that don't know what they're talking about.
Yep.
Because it doesn't exist. That's not part of D&D.
I have just gathered in general that a lot of things that cause outrage, if it's being outraged about, chances are the people who are outraging about it don't actually know what they're talking about.
It is very common. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. Yeah, I would say the times that they do are rarer than the times than they don't, unfortunately. People should research before they get angry instead of after.
Yup.
I got the banner clean.
GTA does teach kids bad things, but the kids should not be playing it. That's the parents' issue, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Man, GTA gives you such good moral guidance, like you should be killing hookers after you pay them and take the money back for their services. Such just moral righteous behavior being taught to our kids by this rated M video game that is rated M for such content.
That is the biggest thing that
SRP is 17 plus.
That is the biggest thing that aggravates me is parents being outraged against stuff in games or movies that are, it's like, it's rated M or it's rated R. It's not for kids. Don't be mad about it being harmful to your kids. The fuck?
Yeah. It's the dumbest thing. Like, of course there's harmful stuff for your kids. They shouldn't be playing it.
Right. That's why it's rated the way that it is.
Oh, Doom is so problematic because it's hyper gory and violent. Meanwhile, Doom, not made for your children. It's actually made for adults. Maybe that was a really poor example, actually.
What do you mean?
Doom is older than Ratings Board in the first place, right? Like, that might have been a really bad example.
Yeah, that's fair. I think GTA is the perfect example of it, honestly.
GTA is, and part of that is because a lot of kids play GTA for some reason. Something that genuinely bothers me, because honestly, I don't think GTA is okay for kids. They all play it. Speaking of which, I need to play Saints Row 2. Back when they were actually still semi-serious.
What do you mean? You don't think they're serious anymore?
No, I really don't.
Why?
It's something about space aliens and hitting people with giant floppy,
I mean, what we're playing right now is something about space aliens, right?
Sorta. It's actually about how humanity is the greatest and all Xenos are inferior scum or something.
Oof.
Much like Helldivers.
This is a much harder robot.
Yeah, it's big. Did you know that this isn't even close to being the biggest mech that exists in 40K?
I did not know that, but at the same time, it's not surprising.
Really not, is it? I love some of the really, really big ones too, by the way. The Titans, the Imperial Titan, I think they're called. Why am I blanking? You know what? It's because it's 2 a.m. That's why I'm blanking on what things are called. Anyways.
2
yeah,
a.m.
Some of them
It's
are...
almost 3.
Some of the Imperial Titans are like cities with legs.
Cities
And they're
with
actually
legs.
really silly looking. They've got these massive cathedrals on their back. They're wonderful.
I like this little stool. He's very useful.
Stool is nice. We appreciate stool. Cauldron's not clean. Not like this. I don't think I can finish clean current. Okay, time to jump off. Try to figure out where the barrel's dirty. Oh, there we go, found it. This one's gonna be tricky. With all these little fiddly bits. You know, the bits that are hard to paint.
That's true. This is probably not that, oddly enough, not that different from painting them.
Yeah, to some degree. I need to finish painting my guys. I quite enjoy the process. Tasty dings. Carapace, I'm not quite sure which part that is.
I'm finding this, the precision one that spins to be very useful.
Precision one that spins?
This one. Because it can get really far, so when you're standing up in those platforms, you can hit quite a bit of stuff with them.
There's grime in the head, and I can't find it. Where's that scaffolding?
All around us.
There we go. Let's see. There we go. Now I can see what's up with the head. materials they gave me was a good idea.
Crazy.
I'm even finding parts on the shoulders that I was having a hard time. Top carapace is still really search that one out. Ugh. Gone foul. Rhyme. There we go. Now I've got it clean. Things are cool. I still want one, but they're very expensive.
Yeah,
Models.
from what I've gathered, a lot of these figures are very expensive.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. A Celestine was what, a $60 model on her own? That's not that bad though compared to some of these things. I want more exorcists, or not exorcists, basilisks. Basilisks are expensive.
No, Locke was the one that needed an exorcist earlier. He did say that in the chat.
He did. Working? Well, that's still not working. The other scaffolding. Oops. This top carapace is giving me a problem. There's a part on it still, and I can't find it.
That's why you have to go up more.
Yeah.
Up, up, up.
I love how I've just been existing in two frames this entire time.
It's fine.
Oops.
Alright, what do we have left?
Parts.
We need battle cannon arm cable and battle cannon body.
That was the cable. I can see it. Wait, reaching it. It's right there. Wait.
Where is it?
I am looking right at the grime, but I cannot quite reach it from here. It's on the back side. Oh, there's also some right there. I cannot stand up here. There we go.
Alright.
Oh, I think we got it. Awesome.
The next thing we need is...
Carapace, isn't it?
no, I think the cockpit hatch railings. Whatever those are. We need the cockpit hatch railings. We need knee Pauline's top carapace domes, reactor heatsink pipes, and the carapace front trim Aquila. I'm gonna try going up here.
Oh, I got the Aquila. Thank goodness.
Thank you, Clipsy. Have a good night. Take a good nap.
Yeah, you're probably right. Good night. Oh, I could probably use a nap too, actually.
Yeah, I think after this one we can probably call it.
Probably should.
And not go till 6 in the morning like we did last time.
Yeah. So, top carapace is driving me crazy. I cannot.
You did it!
Oh. Okay, that works.
It just dinged.
Shoulder pauldron plate. Okay, cool, got it.
What else do we need?
What?
Reactor heatsink pipes.
Seems to like always be something like that, huh? Here's the real.
Oh. Alright. The next one we need... Oh no, that was something else that you just got, so we still need the heatsink pipes. Alright, there we go. Next we need the knee Paulines and the top carapace domes. Alright, got the dome.
What?
Oh, hey, we've got down to just 3 left.
Oh, there's the step stool. Reaper chainsaw blade.
Got it.
Oh, cool.
I have no idea where the chest heavy stubber
Chest
mount.
heavy stubber mount. There's the heavy stubber. That's going to be the gun on the front, by the way. I'm just trying to figure out where the mount technically is. I should probably climb up there.
Yeah, we did it.
Ooh.
That one took a while. That was a challenging one.
Yeah. Oh boy, I can't wait to watch me move around the scaffolding. Oh, I didn't see me moving the scaffolding. Sad.
Sad.
You know what else we should play?
What?
Lethal Company.
I have never played it.
Nor have I, but it looks fun.
Well, I do think we should sleep, but the good news is next time we do this, we'll be starting with the Thunderhawk.
Oh, those are cool.
It's gonna take a long time. That looks like a big one.
Probably. I hope there's a Valkyrie in here somewhere.
I hope so.
I would also love there to be a Basilisk, but I don't think the Basilisk is a super popular vehicle. Except with me, I love them.
That is fair. But you never know. There's been some surprises so far already.
Yeah.
Big eepy time!
Yep.
Woo! So much eepy.
Just a little bit. It's just 3 a.m.
Only a little eepy.
Only a little 3 a.m. I'm so glad I don't have regular work tomorrow.
Me too. This is why we do this. My days off are the only nights I can do stuff late. When I get so sleepy. Because right now, it is about to be 3 o'clock, right?
Just about.
Yeah. Normally, this is when I get up for work.
Oh no.
This week at least was easier. So this week I got up at 5, so I haven't quite been up for 24 hours yet. Actually, that's not true either way. I took a big nap when I got home from work.
Nice.
But yeah, my sleep schedule is non-existent. I sleep when I'm tired and awake when I don't.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming and helping me clean all of these giant war machines.
Yeah, no problem. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It is our sacred duty.
Mm-hmm.
Cleanse.
We must cleanse the machines for the machine god.
For the machine spirit to satiate them. Machine spare its will.
Exactly. Alright.
Or the machine is eternal, while the flesh is fleeting.
And now we shall bid the chat adieu.
Yeah, probably.
Good night, everybody. Have a good eepy time.
Good night, chat.
Okay, bye.